We also still got the SNES.
The actual version, or
welcome everybody. We're just starting the stream. Sorry we're starting a little bit later today. We had a couple of people that were going to be online here shortly. So welcome to the stream. Let's get this rocking.
I give up.
Whoop, whoop. Do we have a full party tonight? Okay. And our dwarf.
Is there a way to select your video or webcam? Like if you have multiple or something like that, or like do you have to select it in the settings?
Say it one more time.
Do you have to select the webcam in?
Yes, your browser should ask you and say, "Hey, which one do you want to use?" And then you tell it, "I want to use this one." I'll restart mine as well because it's trying to use the one Becca's using.
I wish mine would work.
I wish Roll20 in general would work. Ooh, burn.
Is there another platform to use?
I don't know. I mean, we could try and use Team or Discord or something for all the videos, but then they're not on the same screen.
Yeah.
So, the problem. Come on. Let's go. Alright, let's try that. Can you guys see? I see you, kind of, maybe no. Just me. I don't see anybody else. That's okay.
I don't see. Because mine's not working.
Yeah, video.
Doesn't show anything out.
Alright, we'll just give up on that. Not worry about it. Alright, well, welcome everybody. Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons. Usual spiel, let's bring it down low. If you must blink, do it now. Pay careful attention to everything you see and hear. No matter how unusual it may seem, and please be warned, if you fidget, if you look away, if you forget any part of what I tell you, even for an instant, then pretty much our Dragonborn's gonna die. So, everybody sitting comfortably, let's attend carefully as we begin. We are, as a reminder, last week you guys were in the town of Phandalin. I'll pull you over to this so you can kind of get juices going. You guys were talking different places. Zedek and Balasar were kind of off doing their thing. You're not really sure. But you guys went north to Phandalin, or north to the Tribor Trail. You guys were finding about different things. It's quite a shout out for the Timo hat. Yes. So we're going up to the Tribor Trail. You guys had talked to a couple different people. You went to Halia Thornton. You guys took the 100 gold that she had given you for disposing of the local nuisance Glassstaff. And you had remembered that there was a couple of different people asking, including when you went to the Townmaster's Hall talking with Sildar, that there was some trouble to the north. You heard a couple people as you were approaching the Miners' Exchange, as you were kind of coming inside, that they were complaining that there was a nearby tent pitched at the Owl Well, and that they were pushing people. It was like heavily guarded, and people were just kind of being turned away. And it's not really a place that anyone owns, so someone just kind of set up camp there and was domineering ownership, kind of. So you guys were going to go and check that out, find out what's going on to the north. Zedek, realizing that he had been left behind, quickly waddled his way into battle? Question mark. Kind of. Seeing you guys as you had just finished deposing of a large group of hobgoblins who were actively hunting you. And as you guys know, they were kind of sent to dispatch of those people who had come and destroyed the Cragmaw Cave, where some of their kin, or the people who were under them in their ranks. You guys quickly found out that they were a very militant kind of... what's the word? They were a militant type of monster, I guess you could say, or just a creature. And that they were very well guarded, they were very well armored. But after some quick thinking, some chatty discussion, your resident panther almost died, but you guys came out on top after basically a duel of fates between you and one of the hobgoblins. After which, being defeated, they had gone back in shame to their colony. Of dudes empty-handed, essentially. So at which point you guys were scouting ahead. Aurora, as you recall, Tiger Lily, the panther, had picked up the scent, as well as a few, I believe, Roland had also picked up on it, and Venfina. You felt a uneasy presence, an unholy presence, I guess you could say, coming from the east. You could smell it, you could feel it lingering on the air, like just a dark ichor. So, as you guys were walking, Venfina, scouting ahead, she crested one of the top of the hills, and she noticed over by the owl well, so if you guys can see now, and you're going to have to scroll down a little bit, from where Venfina's standing, there was a large tent pitched near the edge, and forgive the drawing, it's just kind of crude, but that's, the circles down on the bottom right is a corner or a part of the large watchtower that is the old owl, what they refer to as the old owl well.
Dude, did we leave early last? I don't remember that at all.
Which part?
He didn't say what she saw last week. He left off. He said, dun, dun, dun.
Correct. You didn't see that yet. So Venfina, she shot an arrow. All she knows is she saw a large pitched tent, kind of not really carnival-esque, but you can think of it as if you see any of those cavalry tents that they take, and they have lots of very thick, blanketed, not really well guarded, but just a very luxurious looking tent. Venfina fired a crossbow bolt, into the entrance to see what happens. And that's where we left off. So, as you guys are kind of doing your scouting ahead, let's see, Zedek is not here currently, so please wait. We've got a baby who's teething and just overall a punk. Alright. Maybe? Almost. Nope. Alright. So Zedek's pulling back. You guys are sitting. Venfina just fired her crossbow bolt. She hasn't declared what she's seen yet. What are you guys doing?
East, right?
To the southeast now. Previously it was somewhere in the east, but now it's filling the southeast.
Is that the direction that we are sensing this bad thing from?
In that general direction, yeah. You guys can get that sense. Venfina and Roland have it the strongest as far as where it's coming from. Because of their divine sense, one of you had cast it. I can't remember which.
Yeah, I believe I had.
Yes, so it's somewhere, you're sensing it from the southeast specifically, but as for Tiger Lily, somewhere in the southeast. Not 100% sure where.
Okay, do I see...
Where you're at, you see a large hill, and Venfina's standing on top of it near a bunch of trees.
Red light behind her.
So you guys are standing down in the road. The you can think of it as like a highway. Dirt very well packed, caked from just years and years of carts and things just going back and forth. Where vegetation is just so thickly smashed down that vegetation doesn't really grow. But you see up on the top of the kind of grassy-ish hill, this area, there's not a huge change to the landscape, but there's definitely a heavy smell of death. So as you guys approach it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. The hill then.
Okay. So Roland, you go up on the hill. Anybody else?
Did anything actually happen when I shot the arrow?
You shot an arrow.
Climb that hill.
Yeah, sure. Go up.
Okay. And looking down, Benfina, after having fired the bolt, you see the crossbow bolt sink into the earth with a loud thud. Not really something that you would hear, but as it whistles off into the distance, you don't see a huge amount of stuff happening. But as you're kind of sitting there, you get the indication that someone might be inside the tent. They might just be busy doing something. So at this point, what do you guys want to do? You guys are on the top of the hill. You see the spread before you. There's not really anything else in this courtyard-esque place. There's a lot of rubble and just broken pieces of what seems to be pieces of this giant tower.
I'm gonna quietly to the edge of the tent to see if I can hear anything.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check, please.
Coming right up.
Does it feel like now that I'm looking down?
It cut in and out. Say it one more time.
Sorry, does it feel like the evil is growing stronger at the top of the hill?
As you approach the top of the hill, it does kind of grow stronger. You don't. From where you're at, the distance, you're close enough that you know it's not in the tent, but it's still somewhere to the southeast. Okay, so Clandon, you rolled a 15. And okay, let me roll real quick. Okay, so you walk up. You don't seem to hear anybody. No disturbances. From your reports of people when they were saying that there was a lot of guards around, you don't seem to see anyone around. But you do hear someone inside of the tent. It's a very muffled. You hear this. Someone sounds like they're talking. But you don't really hear anybody responding. So your assumption is that this person's talking to themselves.
Okay. Again, what was this? Just or south, I guess it is.
That's
Oh,
that's the owl well. It's a tower.
Correct. So this is the rim of the tower. So you can see the circumference isn't completely on the map. This is just one part of it. You do see a doorway, but there's some rubble and some other stuff. Some heavy outcroppings of stuff.
Owl well, the tower.
Uh-huh.
What are those little round things?
Those are just rubble, rocks, big boulders, things that have fallen either off the tower or just outcroppings, rock outcroppings. The area you're in, you can think of it as, you've seen those places where there's just rolling hills. There's just hill after hill after hill. This is down where this tent is pitched, is kind of down in one of the valleys, and that owl well is on top of another hill. So it's meant to be you can tell it's a place of where they used to fortify or try and watch out for oncoming armies or other kinds of stuff for early notice.
I wave to the hands up on the hill to.
Okay. Companions.
Alright, we go
I'll head
down.
down. Sure, I'm not gonna be stealthy. Telling me to join him, I'm going to assume that.
Great.
Okay, so he comes trouncing down.
My armor and shield kind of clinking a little bit as I do.
Clink, 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 clink. All right, so you hit the bottom of the hill. You do as you're walking down. You hear, "Who's out there?" You see somebody come and they throw the one of the large tent flaps the rest of the way open. It's kind of like one of those heavy, kind of a oiled canvas cloth. Flips it to the side, and you guys see standing before you a man who, as far as description goes, he seems to be a little bit disheveled, not really well kept. He kind of has a screw loose as far as the way that it looks at everybody. He's looking around.
Grab that screwdriver and tighten.
Yes, tighten it. So he's a stout red-robed figure. He has sallow skin, and you guys see that he has a shaved scalp and a black tattoo on his forehead. He just kind of, as he's kind of walking around, muttering to himself. He's not really hunched, but he looks outside. He sees Roland, and he says, "You there? What are you doing here?"
And I kind of look off to the. I quickly glance over to the right and realize I'm looking at Clandon, and then I just kind of give him a bow and I go, "Greet from the Church of God, fair. So do I know anything about like, as me? I kind of know a little about what this guy is, with the red robes and the tattoo head, but would roll."
Yes, go ahead and roll an intelligence check.
Okay, what do you want me to do? Or specifically?
Either Arcana or History, whichever. Flip a coin and just tell me which one you roll. Let's see, that one's for History. All right, so for History, you recognize that it's usual for a person of Thay. It's a land of the Far East, and you also remember from history that these wizards, they pattern their flesh with tattoos. This is something that's pretty normal for that region. So you can tell he's not from this area, but it kind of clicks in your head that with the tent, the way that he's all put together, the way that he's wearing robes, he's probably someone from Thay.
Yeah, so I finished with what is a good member of the realm of Thay doing here?
Well, that's my business, but... And he looks down and he sees the crossbow bolt near like one of his feet, and he's like, "What is the meaning of this?"
Oh, I do apologize. My friend on the other hill was having a little bit of a contest, and she bolted to see how far it would go, and I was it for her.
Okay. He looks at you. Go ahead and roll a deception check for me, please.
All right.
All right. Shooting crossbow bolts at people's tents? You guys must be crazy.
And I start running down the hill.
Ruled that out from this group yet?
And I say,
So I can't
Roland,
hear.
did you
hear
find my
Benfina.
crossbow?
Hold on, Becca. They can't hear you. I can't hear you either.
This might be a good part to say that I'm in, by the way.
Welcome. So everybody's up there. Dormorlam, I assume your dude was just following with him. Zedek, I haven't heard from yet, so we'll see. And then you'll hear clinking behind you, heavy footfall on the road. Balasar, you're a little bit behind.
Yeah. It's just like
Can you hear me now?
every 5 minutes the movie switch
Right.
or running the distance over and over again.
Right. Becca, try talking again. No. Okay, go down to the cog at the bottom. I bet you it's because you plugged in that speakers. 1 second, I gotta fix your mic.
This is actually really funny. On the game night Monday that I had with Preston playing, I introduced Wizard of Thay, so I'm pretty familiar with them.
Fair enough.
So, what'll happen? So so just real quick, what's happened is after we shot that crossbow last game, that's where we ended. That's the bolt that we're talking about right now.
Yeah, so nothing happened. Snuck down there, and nobody came out, and so he motioned for us to join in. The naive young lad that just thought that he could just come on down without thinking. So he ended up running into this gentleman wearing red robes with a shaved head and tattoos.
Okay,
Can
I
you
did
hear me
get that part right. A little bit.
Okay, try talking.
How about now?
That's
Hey.
awesome.
There we go. Alright, we're all working now.
you.
So
Okay, so I wanted to come rushing down the hill to see if I can rescue this small lad from freezing robes. And I approach him.
okay, you see him get really. The guy in the robes sees you running down the hill, and you said you're just barreling at him, or
I'm just rushing in. Like, oh, Roland, are you okay? Are you okay?
okay.
Yes, I was just telling my friend here, and I don't know if he doesn't buy my lie, so I was just telling him that I was retrieving your crossbow bolt from the shot that you were giving.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Right, indeed. Go ahead and Aurora, roll for persuasion, deception specifically. Well, no, it's not really deception. I'm sorry, Benfina. I don't know. It's probably because I got little kids being really loud.
Alright, what am I? No, it's like a consistent thing.
Hey,
what am I rolling?
children, Sterling, go to your room.
Neither
You're rolling a
of them have
deception.
diapers on, so.
Deception. Go on. Go to your room. Go get a diaper.
No, the only diapers they have are right here.
Oh, go to Mama. Okay, cool. So he says, all right, well, don't be shooting crossbow bolts at random people's tents. It's inconceivable. You see that his arm was going up in just in a dismissive motion, swinging his hand in front of him, almost like he's wafting away a bad smell from his face. All right, and so he kind of looks at the rest of you, and he says, "And what of this fellow behind me in behind the tent flaps? What are you doing here?"
Just take a breather. I chased after Roland with the arrow, or trying to get the arrow to knock myself out.
Indeed. You shouldn't be peeping on someone's tent, even if it's an old man. That's gross.
It's a sturdy tent. I felt I could live under it.
It is a very fine tent. I'm impressed at the size of it. Is it yours personally, or do you share it with others?
It is mine.
And, again, I'm sorry. I don't mean to intrude or anything. I know it is your business, but I've just never seen somebody from before. I've heard about you, but I'm interested in what you would be doing this far west.
I'm doing research, trying to find out more information about some of the different artifacts in this area. Specifically, I've heard some places of the arcane here hold great power, and I'm here researching them.
I'm sorry, sir. Did we get your name?
The name's Hammond Cost,
Hi.
and you best not forget it. Yes, indeed. He kind of puts his nose up to you.
How do I smell?
Not that way. He's looking down on you, down his nose. He's not smelling. He's like, "Hello, sweets. Let me smell your hair."
So I'm going to use Divine Sense,
Okay.
Landon, because it just will have a turn. And I'm going to see if he's registering as very evil.
Okay. Divine Sense, does it have a hand motion or a vocal, or is it just you just do it?
It doesn't say it requires any sort of somatic or
Okay.
verbal components.
Go ahead. So you cast it. You do detect undead directly to the southeast in the tower.
The tower behind you seems a little dangerous, sir. Are you fine here on your own?
Oh yes, I'm completely fine. I've got my men investigating, digging things up for me.
The tower right now?
Indeed.
I'm him a little more suspicious now because I'm feeling the undead in the tower.
Yep.
And he's saying his men, and I'm not entirely trusting him anymore. I want to roll an insight.
Do a wisdom check on, or I'm sorry, intelligence on Arcana.
Also, can I be moving to this
Yeah.
kind
Yeah, you can start moving forward. Okay, Roland. Something magical's going on. You have no idea. Anyone else?
Everyone coming down the hill.
Okay.
Also, is the soldier dude, is that the mage guy, or...
That's Roland. Roland's Roland. So here, I'll put so it's just for less confusion, let me throw the guy on the page for you. We're doing a little imagination.
Yeah, I was just looking like Roland, where's his character? So I figured that must be soldier.
I don't want to use an evil mage. We just want wizard.
Wizard.
All right, we'll just use the wizard. He's using green robes, but he's not green robes. He's actually not. Duplication.
I knew there was some.
And now he's completely surrounded by us. I'm sure he's very safe.
Right.
The front of it. I don't know.
So as you're approaching, I'm gonna get rid of this arrow. You guys know it's in the ground. Delete. Delete. It's still by his feet, by the way. So unless you walked right up to him and pulled it out of the ground in front of him.
I am going actually wave at it. And he goes, "May I retrieve the bolt, sir?"
Yes, go ahead. Someone could trip on it.
All right, repeat his name for me again.
His name. Why is it? Lincoln. I'll write it in here so you can see it. One sec.
Hammond Cost.
Hammond Cost. Okay, so you guys see Hammond. He's just kind of sitting. Again, Dormorlam, you start approaching. He sees a large panther coming across the hill. You see him raise his hand a little bit in hesitation, kind of defensively, to see, because he's seeing more and more people. His eyes are getting wider. He's like, what is the meaning of this? What? Doesn't take this many people to retrieve an arrow.
Well, they heard me talking, sir.
Sorry, you can go ahead and move closer if you'd like as well. Zedek.
How far was her shot time?
Zedek went wolf mode and he's out running in the woods somewhere.
It's hard to tell with the hill, but I'm pretty sure she made it to at least where she did before.
And I'm gonna lose this bet, aren't I?
Probably, yeah. She's got one more shot. I think it's best if we shoot it away from this next time.
Well, Jen, we've made it to the location that we've been,
Dora Morlam, roll a deception check for me.
Well, I don't know this. My deception's horrible. Natural 20.
Oh.
Looks like a 19.
All right. So, what is going on? That dice is completely weird.
That dice is all messed up.
So it was a 9 with a -1, an 8.
Yeah.
He says, you see his face sours a little bit. He's looking at Dora Morlam and kind of the rest of you. He's getting very, very defensive.
I'm gonna back off to Memphina and for the bolt, just slowly.
I'm just gonna come out with him, let him in and say, so we're on our way to the well, as we've told that there's been some trouble, and we've come to check it out in the game we play as we travel. But now that we're here, is there any strange activity you've seen around here?
Nothing stranger than people shooting arrows randomly.
I walked into that one.
So I'm actually, as I'm handing the bolt to Vinfina, I whisper and I say, I'm sensing something dead in the tower. Well, not dead, but undead. Can you open your senses up and confirm?
I sure can. Oh, cast Divine Sense.
Okay. You feel the same thing. You feel the undead heavy presence in the tower.
How many?
Oh.
Does it give you specifics on how many?
Let's see here. Until the end of your next turn, you know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover. You know the type of any being whose presence you sense, but not its identity. Within the same radius, you also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the hollow spell.
This
So I would say
this location feels desecrated and it feels undead.
Ugh, I think
In the
I
tower
rolled my
specifically.
throw up.
Okay, you want to roll a Constitution check for me?
Yep. Now that I'm realizing that this whole place is consecrated or desecrated. Yeah. First time on it.
Hammond takes a step back and says, "What is wrong with you people?"
Sorry. I gotta, and then I just gotta run back towards the nearest tree so that I can.
Okay. And I approach this. Yeah, wizard. I don't know what he is. Anyway, and I say, "Are you sure
that you have not seen anything strange
in this area?"
Like I said, there's nothing strange about this. I'm doing my research, and people, you guys are. He starts kind of fumbling a little bit within his words. He's getting more frustrated with the conversation, and he says, "What do you?"
Shared their feelings with us, right?
No, we haven't yet. You just see puking and
I'm
barfing.
Yeah. Hey, Roland, you okay?
I kind of give you a wave, and it looks like it's half and half come over here and hold my hair, please.
You might want to leave Tiger Lily.
My favorite raccoon. So I go over to Roland and hold his hair and pat him.
And
I
he's like,
throw up one more time, and then as I'm wiping little residue on my mouth, I turn to look at her. I just whisper and I just say, "Place is evil, and we need to warn everybody else."
okay.
Oh yay!
Penny, you need
Okay, where I'm at,
Sophia?
can I see anything with this tower or anything like that? Can I see it or anything?
Say it one more time.
Never mind.
Where I'm at, can I see inside the tower? See, is that
You see that there's the tower itself, where the rubble is and things. You can see that there's a door, and you see small bits of movement inside, but it doesn't seem like anything. It just seems like people passing back and forth inside.
Okay, so what do you want to do, Roland? Do you want to get this guy out of here? Or
You're making it really loud, babe.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get
I'm
the
not
stream
sensing
refreshed.
anything directly
It wouldn't
evil
let me
about him,
do
but
the thing.
it could be that most humans just don't register on the senses that God has given me. I would recommend we maybe question him further. I mean, we're here. We are where we need to be. So I don't think that it's a coincidence that he's here as well and not being harassed by undead.
Did you roll that, by the way? Yeah, you did write that Arcana. Okay, just making sure.
Oh yeah, and something magical is going on. I don't know what, but
Just make sure.
I got this tingle.
Does anybody else who's proficient in Arcana would like to try? You're more than welcome. Shh. Sterling, go to your room, please. For the love, I'm done with all of you. Go, please. You're making it really hard to hear and concentrate. Dora Morlum. Clandon, okay, Clandon, Dora Morlum, you're looking at him. Clandon first realizes, as well as Dora Morlum, in your travels you had seen not necessarily where he's from, but you recognize the tattoo on his face. It does represent his school of magic, and his school of magic is necromancy.
Sir Koss, your companions in the tower, are they Fae as well?
Well, they're not Fae, but they are my help that I have commissioned to accomplish the work I have for them.
I believe he meant Thay, as in T-H-A-Y.
Oh, Thay?
Yeah, Thayan.
Mm,
Oh,
you're gonna have
Fae
to,
from Thayan.
You're gonna have to inform the Thayan. Oh, okay, gotcha. I was saying, I thought you said Fae. My bad. Okay. Yes, you know they are from my country, or from the area that I've grown up.
I would like to see if I believe that, and I don't know if I believe him or not.
You just nod your head. You're eating him. Every word he says, he's gobbling it up.
Line and sinker.
Okay. So perception,
Like something's
Clandon.
evil.
Clandon, you get the same sense from him. He's being truthful. He's not. You don't feel like he's holding anything back. Venfina, you do recognize that he is, again, he's being truthful in what he's saying. He is not holding back in the sense that all the words that he has said are true, and he believes them all to be true. All the words he said up to this point.
Okay, I'm going to ask him, Wizard Man, do your companions mean us any harm, or have they harmed anyone in this area?
Well, they're not to harm, but I've instructed them to make sure no one interferes with my work. That's what you mean. All these grimy little miners coming, trying to pick this place apart like a bunch of vultures.
So he said that they weren't supposed to harm anybody, but they were supposed to drive them away.
He didn't say that they wouldn't harm anyone. He just said that they would keep people from interfering with his work. That was their instructions.
Could you remind me some of what we heard is going on here?
From what you heard, people were coming when they were trying to get to the tower, that there was some new camp set up, and that people were being turned away, and by these armored figures, saying that basically whenever they'd get close, they would be aggressive.
And who owns? I mean, is this kind of a...
This is like nobody owns it. This is just the ruins of the civilization of Phandalin and the surrounding area. This is just one of the watchtowers that helped preserve the peace in this area. This at one point at the apex of that particular town and that civilization. It was an important kind of choke point for military strategy.
And why would anyone in modern day go to this place of ruins? Exactly. Like, why are the villagers going, I guess?
It's just like coming and going. There's a couple of different towns that have long since been destroyed or forgotten, and there's a heavy belief that a lot of these structures in their peak, this was like the hub of magic. Go ahead and roll in a history check and see if you recognize and remember more about why people... Nope. Coming up dry. you just know that people say that this place, these areas, they have a lore, kind of one of those spoken from father to son to daughter to, all that kind of stuff, just through that chain of people talking about, that the mine was magical, and there were magical things made in that era, and they could be found anywhere.
I'd like to check out with stone cunning the rubble here, the towers, and kind of the history behind those.
Okay, so you're gonna approach the tower and go look at some of those?
Yeah, I'm just
okay.
Kind of lollygag over here.
Okay, you walk over there, and Hammond puts his hand up. I wouldn't do that if I were you. As you start to walk forward, you see a few figures shambling towards the door.
I scream at Doral Morlum to stop. Shut it.
Doral So she says that. Go ahead and how do you respond?
What?
Just stop. Don't go over there.
Okay. I'm completely confused about why. But I'll stop right here and take a look.
Okay.
I'm just interested in the stone and everything.
And collaborate.
And listen.
So I'm going to move back over to the.
For the two that had divine sense, you feel the presence of these shambling creatures coming closer.
Yeah, so I'm going to move over here. I'm briefly going to eye the dragon that's also walking towards, but I'm not going to, as nobody else has reacted to him yet, I'm going to assume that this is somebody that I already had that scare once.
And Hammond is looking at Balasar with curiosity.
And once I...
I just wanted to cast Sanctuary on Dormamorla.
Okay, go ahead and cast Sanctuary. Does it have a somatic or verbal component? Yes, it does. So as you start casting this spell, you can go ahead and cast it, which is a bonus action. Any creature awarded creature's attack or harmful spell must take a wisdom saving throw. Okay, so Dormamorla, you have that. Hammond, let me have him roll real quick. Let's see if he notices. Roll a sleight of hand for me, Benfina. We'll see if it's going to be a contest.
Mom,
Let's see if he notices or not.
guess what, Mom?
He notices.
I found it. I found the number.
What are you doing?
What was the number?
I'm gonna pull my sword.
At this point, he starts pulling up he pulls up his hand and he says, "Listen, I told you this is where my research is taking place. And if you're to make yourselves useful, why don't you go fight those orcs, or why don't you go somewhere else? This place is for my research, and if you don't want trouble, I suggest you back away."
Real quick, where's the door on this place?
The door is gonna be right here.
Okay. Semi-threatening action, and I'm gonna step up to him and tell him, I don't think he should be trying to cause any harm.
Okay, is this in a threatening tone or in a informative tone?
Middle.
I whistled for.
Go ahead and roll for persuasion then. And then you say whistle for who?
Tiger Lily join me.
Okay.
I try to diffuse it and say, Mr. Cost, this is public grounds, not anyone has claim to it. And if any person has claim to its local town, which is tower used to guard.
And again, it's been the civilization that once owned this town has not been here for centuries.
I would like to make it more kind of this way.
Okay, Dormorlum, the others don't really see it very well because the tent's obscuring it. Dormorlum is out of your view. But Dormorlum, you do see figures shambling that look like this.
I guess in response to him seeing me cast, I'm just trying to protect my companions.
And I'm trying to protect my work.
Can I run back to kind of where my companions can see me?
Sure. Do an athletics check. Show me your path.
Let's see how you could like.
Do an athletics check. See if you trip over the tent stakes.
Oh, don't. I'm
Okay.
proficient.
You step over the tent stake. You do not trip.
I'd like to tell my companions real quick.
Okay.
Guys, there's some undead kind of in the rubble over here. Yeah.
At this point, Hammond, he's looking around at each of you. He's very poised defensive, and he says, "I told you, these are my people doing my work. If you will not leave them be, you will have trouble from me."
So we don't want any trouble, but we can't have you causing trouble for others in this area around here. This is not your tower.
And it is not their tower either.
You have to allow them to come. You can't keep everybody away. You're claiming it as yours.
Indeed I am.
I'm gonna step up my intimidation with
Okay.
my
Roll for intimidation.
step forward.
Up to this point, they dismissed your last threat.
Mm-hmm.
You can roll an intimidation.
What is so precious about
My body slipped run up for cover.
You breathe threats. Threats it shall be. And everybody go ahead and roll me for initiative.
Sorry, guys.
You start here in
You guys
Benfina.
got some confidence for seeing all of us there.
He is a resident of Thay.
That's valid.
I was
Yeah,
just
somebody
trying
retire.
to
Yeah.
ask him about his work.
Is there a way to roll initiative that it puts me on the track?
Yes. So when you roll, click on your person and hit initiative on the top left.
There we go. Oh, she's the new one. That's fine.
Okay.
Rolling. Tell him.
Rolling green dudes.
Wow, guys, we got roll initiative today.
It only matters if they roll better. So hopefully they will get there.
Okay, so Benfina, you start detecting as well these creatures that are shambling. Roland would also have noticed this coming from behind the tent from that direction. You guys had come from the north where there's less stuff. Okay, and let's get the rest of these guys on the board.
Holy
Oh, well, this is gonna end well.
All right.
Don't worry, my gods prepared me for this.
Let's see, which one did that? Oh, I'm gonna do this one by one. I can't do a group.
I'm impressed you didn't yell zombie.
Troll in the dungeon!
How'd you like to know?
And the clothes that you see on some of these zombies, each one is a little bit different, but each of them you recognize have similar garb of kind of the Thay type area.
Wow, they can't roll initiative either.
Yep.
Look at those 2 4s.
Alright, descending. Let me make sure I got everybody. Is that? Oh, no, I didn't get Hammond. Ha 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 ha! Natural one. Alright, make sure everybody's there. He did warn you.
How many
after all.
zombies are there?
Turrets
This
and
is
firemen.
nothing. When we fought zombies in our other group, there were like 50 of them. And we weren't supposed to fight them.
Okay, I think I got everybody. I think.
I finished the number 2.
Wait, Preston, are we supposed to fight these?
Huh? That's up to you guys.
Turn away from evil.
That's you guys. You guys can fight him if you want. It's not. There's no yes or no in Preston's campaigns. There's no supposed to. It's Preston's prepared for whatever madness you guys ensue.
Man, I got dragon breath. Let's do this.
All right. So so from here, you guys do have. Let me get the mage out.
Wait, how do zombies even die?
I don't have that. What the junk?
Remove
Remove a head or maybe.
Okay. So go ahead and from this point, you guys. So he's basically pulling this on you. You see in a flash of light, Hammond. There's like a flash of light and dust, and Hammond seemingly disappears at this point.
What?
Poof. So he is.
can Vinfina or Roland still feel his presence?
Yeah, you can still feel his presence. He just basically popped back in the tent. You guys don't know that, but they do.
I'm gonna look over at Vinfina and I go. I point at the tent and I go meat, and then I point at the where Dorla Mormon came from. And I said, or potatoes.
So he was also giving off an evil presence. That's why we.
It wasn't evil. It was more like it was an undead smell. If that makes sense.
Him or
the zombies, evil, undead. Him, just smell of necromancy. The smell of undeath. The smell of things that go against the natural order of things. That makes sense?
Got it.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, so we've got this. The zombie first one on the list is up here near Vinfina. So he's kind of shambling forward. He is going to take his massive speed of 20 to walk up to you.
Everybody, give your best zombie.
How are we all of a sudden
Like a
there?
zombie rookie.
How
How are we so close already?
These guys were behind
This is
the.
terrifying.
These guys were walking up behind the tent as those conversations were happening. Okay. Shoot. Sorry, guys. I'm on the wrong layer. I'm trying to figure out how to get back to objects.
I
There we
didn't
go.
see those on the other side of the tent.
Yeah, exactly what I said.
He's gonna come up and he's going to smack you, Vinfina, with his slam attack. So 11, does that hit?
My EC?
Correct.
No, that doesn't.
So he tries to slam at you, and it's more like an undead. He almost leans into you, and he's like, "Whoa." Not very. He's not really into his zombie mode today. But some of these figures you can see match a little bit the description of the people who are being pushed away. They're dark figures who became aggressive when they got close. And so that's his turn. So next up, we got zombie number 2. He's going to come up. He's going to try and hit you again, Vinfina. They're at this point going to slam. 10. Does that hit?
No.
These zombies are just getting warmed up. So he just goes, bleh. Didn't quite get you.
My EC is 8.
Alright, so zombie way back down here in the bottom. He's going to move 5, 10, 15, 20. There we go. He's going to shamble forward. Your Morlum, it is now your turn.
Charge! Is this a big boulder, right?
Yes, it's big. It would be considered rough terrain if you're going to try and climb over it.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna do my good old 25 feet.
Okay. So 25 feet, you get clear view down into the tower itself. You see into the doorway, into the darkness. You have dark vision, right, as a dwarf?
Yes, I do.
Yep. You can see at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zombies. 2 of which are outside of your view.
Okay, and then also I would like to do a quick reaction.
Okay.
After I've moved.
Okay, what's the reaction would be if something else triggers. Is it a bonus action?
Oh no, it's a reaction.
Yeah, reaction would be like if it says if somebody runs away from you or if you got hit or if someone else gets hit, it'll usually have a condition.
Okay, in that case, I'll hold off.
Okay, so you're gonna hold, and at that point, now it's Aurora. It's your turn.
Is Tiger Lily attacking after me?
She can attack before or after. I don't care. It's up to you.
Okay.
Whichever you decide, I'll put her into the order.
After.
Okay.
So I'm gonna move over here and attack this with my sword.
Okay, so you go ahead and make your attack. Okay, 20. This is with the left value if you have initiative enabled. Or sorry, advantage enabled. That's fine.
That again.
No, it's fine. We'll just take the left one. It'll be fine. So 14 does hit. Go ahead and roll for damage. 2 damage. 4. Okay, got it. So as you slash into the zombie, you just hear this sickening sloshing sound as it just sinks into this rotting flesh. A piece of his shoulder just slumps off onto the ground and just hits the ground. All right, so that's Venfina, and then Aurora. I don't know why I switch you guys every time.
You do that
every time. I switch the two of you. So Aurora, you do that. Do you have any bonus actions you want to take?
No.
All right, now Tiger Lily.
She is going to pounce on on that same one.
Okay, so she's gonna run up and she does her pounce action.
And she hits it with a claw attack.
Okay, claw attack. That's going to be the pounce is gonna do a DC 12. Let me roll for that first. Okay, it fails its throw, so it is now prone. Which one is it hitting? Is it this one to the south or to the east?
The one I just
the west. The one you just attacked. Okay, so she go ahead and pounces it. So she's up here. This guy is now prone. Whoops. Bloop. He's prone, and then it makes the claw or bite attack. Was it the bite attack?
Yeah, we'll do bite.
Okay, so she goes ahead and bites. Go ahead and roll for the attack. A 1d20.
Anyone else having Preston's mic cut in and out of them, or is it just me?
Everybody's doing it for me a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. At Discord today, I think they had a service interruption.
Yeah, they had 4 regions.
What? Go
Kristen,
go to your room, please. Play in your room.
It tells me what kind of dice to roll for which attacks. Do you want me to roll those, or do you want me to roll the d20?
Roll the d20 first, because this is an attack, and that will see if it hits. And then if it hits, then you'll roll those other dice. Just make sure we'll add the +4 to hit on that. So it'll be 1d20 +4. Okay, so 9 + 4, that's going to be 13. Okay, 13 does hit, so go ahead and roll for damage. That's going to be a 1d6 +2 as piercing damage. Okay, so that's going to be a 5 damage. So he takes another 5 damage. Alright, so the zombie... just a second. Okay, so you do the damage to the zombie. He takes the brunt of the damage. Again, he's on the ground. He takes the bite. A lot of the cloth is just your typical cloth. It's got the rotting flesh. It's got the sun that's beat on it. It tears away easily. So takes a lot of damage there. Tiger Lily, any bonus actions?
The bonus action was the bite.
Yeah, that
That was the bite? Okay, cool.
Also,
That's right.
to note, prone creatures have an attack against them, so FYI for anyone attacking prone creatures.
Yes, indeed.
What? You cut out?
When you attack the prone creature, you get advantage.
If it's a melee attack, you get advantage against a creature when it's...
Beautiful.
Yep. Alright, Balasar, Venvina, you're on deck.
Leggings come with it.
Alright, so there are 3 people in this, is it gonna I can take the distance of go on and everything? Or is it straight line distance?
You can go up, down, left, right, you can go diagonal. Doesn't matter for your movement.
No, since there's 2 people between me and the zombies over there.
You'd have to walk around them.
Okay.
Unless you're going to try and do 2 acrobatics checks to leapfrog over 2 people.
check
You're considering it?
No, my speed.
Yeah, your speed, wasn't it 35? 30, okay.
I thought it was 35.
You can take a dash action and do double movement, but you're still not quite going to be there. Also remember that I think your barbarian also now has rage. I think it comes with rage, but just in case. No, this is Balasar. Benfina's on deck.
Well, he should have enough movement. We can go diagonal, right?
Yeah, you can go diagonal.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 will get you right up next to Benfina.
Yep. And then you can attack from there. Yep.
Right there.
Sorry, I'm struggling with the computer.
That's okay, man. I think the Discord and everything is struggling today.
Is it 5 per block?
Yes.
Oh, I'm just kidding. It's right here.
Okay, so I'm gonna come around like that. It's like 20.
Okay.
I'm gonna attack this.
Alright. Go ahead and are you using the glaive?
I believe so. I'm not sure that's what I'm using right
Okay.
now.
And is it one-handed or two-handed? How are you using it one-handed or two-handed, I should say?
Two-handed.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it. And I think it'll roll for both damage. The damage on the right is your two-handed damage. So if you just click on the attack or the glaive, it should roll. There you go. So 21 will hit. Go ahead and roll for damage. And the damage is going to be the one on the right. Sorry. Click on the glaive name in the chat. That's all good. Sterling, you're super loud, dude. Is that working? There you go. Okay, so 4 slashing damage. Okay, so that you get the same thing, the sickening sloshing sound as your glaive sinks in and you pull it back, and there's just this acrid smell in the air of death. Any bonus actions? Okay. Just as a reminder, because I know that a lot of things have changed on them, if you do ever do you can read through the rage thing, it will increase, like if you ever do strength checks and things like that. So, alright, so next, Benfina, what are you doing? Clandon's on deck. Oops.
I'm gonna use a melee attack.
I clicked initiative. What the what?
I'm going to use my might.
Ooh.
Fancy. Sure glad we have 2 paladins to kill all my zombies.
I forget to do melee attacks.
Jerks. Just kidding. You get to do 2 melee attacks?
No,
Penny.
I said I never get to do my melee attacks.
Oh. Okay, melee.
So tonight's point is actually just a bonus action.
Yep.
I'm going to...
So use your bonus action.
My melee weapons are...
Yeah, I think it's might it.
Okay, so I'll use it with my glaive, and then it will give me additional damage.
Okay, and as a note, I'll assume that when you were coming down the hill, you put your bow away and you had your glaive as they were walking up. So if you do need to switch weapons again, then you'll have to take an action to do that, because you're having to put away a big, huge glaive. Okay?
Okay, so that's fine.
Okay, go ahead. Because it's an action, is that right, Nibiru? For big weapons?
I believe so, yes.
I think. Don't hate me, Internet, in case it isn't. 18 does hit. Go ahead and roll for damage. With the Divine Smite. So is the Divine Smite in addition a second attack?
It's a bonus action.
I would assume. I just want to know if they're separate, like if the rolls are separate.
When you hit a creature,
Yeah, so the
When I hit a creature, yeah.
Okay, so roll the damage on the glaive and the Divine Smite then. So if I understand correctly, the glaive does damage, and then Divine Smite's an additional damage to that glaive damage.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's when I hit a creature with a melee weapon attack, you can spend your
roll for damage.
slot.
Okay, so that's 6. Go ahead and roll for damage on the glaive. Is that the glaive or is that the Divine Smite?
That was the glaive.
Okay, do the Divine Smite.
Divine Smite won't.
Syntax error expected. Okay, so Divine Smite, what is it supposed to be? We need to look that up. For some reason, roll 20 is broken.
Is 2d8 for a first level spell slot.
Alright, roll 2d8.
Okay, I'll roll it.
And roll it twice because you criticaled on that Divine Smite.
Nice.
Yeah.
So 48.
48, yes. Okay. Roll, Clandon, remember you're on deck. 19 damage, okay, and that's to which one? To the one to the south?
Rip.
Okay. So as you pull it back, do you have any flavor you'd like to add to it, or I can add flavor for you if you want.
Hold
It's up to
on.
you.
Okay, so
this is radiant damage.
Yes.
So as I slice it across the just like its middle section or its chest,
Okay.
and then
just like
a huge gust of white light radiates from me. I just say, get the dense evil spirit or something.
Okay. So as you come down, your glaive sinks deep into its collarbone, grazes it straight down, right about to the midsection and the belly button, knowing that you have allowed this wound to open up to basically get to the essence of this creature. And as you do this, you're like, get the handsome evil creature, and then you guys see this very bright light emanate from her, almost like a Fusroda. Just boom, and then you just see the zombie itself just atomizes and turns to ash, just as it scatters across behind her. And that zombie is dead.
I know everyone has disadvantage because they're friendly, right?
Zombies, if they had intelligence, maybe, but they don't. Okay, so that's...
I'm afraid of you.
Yes, Roland is totally terrified. Clandon. Do you have any other bonus action, or you already did your bonus action, main action? Any movement you would like to expend?
I am going to... I can face step over by Dormorlum.
Okay. You cannot see where he's standing. The tent's in the way.
Okay, so...
But if you
I
move...
want to move in front of the tent.
Is face step, is that considered an action?
Yeah, it might be.
Just so what you could do is you could move. I'm checking to see if this panther has him restrained or if he could get an opportunity of attack.
It's a bonus action is what it says.
Okay, so you already did a bonus action, so what you could do is you can move, and then the next turn you could face step as a bonus action.
I think I'd like to find my way inside the tent, actually.
Okay. Sounds good. By the way, Sarah, Tiger Lily should be able to make another attack in addition to that bite attack it did. Because that pounce, the pounce gives it an automatic attack. Oh, no. Okay, you're right. So the pounce, got it. The pounce was the action.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, I misread that.
I move in front of the doors.
Okay.
Flaps. And what do I see?
What do you see? You look inside. What you're seeing. Go ahead and roll me a perception check, just because you're in the heat of the battle.
Corn popping on the apricot tree.
Indeed.
I knew it.
Hammond Cost had such a bright surprise.
Oh my God.
Zombies popping right before our eyes.
Oh no, what have we done?
I can take his arm full of barrels, or barrel full of arms, and make a treat.
Alright, roll an 11.
Okay, so you're looking.
Really deal 25 damage to that one stupid zombie.
Yeah, you obliterated it. You atomized it. It was normally going to be able to try and come back, but you atomized it. So it's going to. Okay, so you look inside. You see you're basically doing a quick scan of the room. What you see inside is it's a very comfortable traveling suite. You see a cot, a chair, a writing desk, some supplies, a clothes, leather bag containing some stuff sitting on the table in front of him, and you see Hammond Cost in the corner, kind of pulling some stuff out of a chest in front of him. But that's what you see, and that is what it is.
And I yell, halt!
Okay. And Clandon?
Okay. Is sprint a bonus action?
Yes. Well, hold on. What kind of sprint? Are you talking about just dashing?
Yeah.
Yes. So dashing is not a bonus action. It's your full. That's what you would choose as your action. So you can move double movement and dash.
And I can't go through it.
You can see the tower over the tent. You can't quite see the tent. Just barely obscures. It's tall enough that it obscures the doorway.
How knowledgeable are we on necromancers?
You could roll an arcana.
If we kill the necromancer, do all zombies disappear?
You'll roll a right. Roll an arcana check to see if you know.
Where'd my page go? It is.
You think it might have something to sever, but you're not entirely certain what exactly binds them to this place. If it's him, if it's the tower, if it's if there's a rift going straight to the World Stone where Diablo lives. You don't know.
Also, you guys don't really know where he is.
Correct.
That's true.
Clandon, yeah, from where Clandon's Roland, do you have Dark's vision?
No.
Okay, it's pretty dark in there. Roland, you can't really see too deep into the thing because he's snuffed out all the lights. Clandon, you can't see him just because you're on part of where the tent flap comes around. So you're a little obstructed.
Okay.
You what?
I'm gonna move over to here.
Okay. Alright. Alright, so if you're doing a ranged attack?
Yeah.
It is prone. I think you do it at disadvantage. Correct.
Yes.
If you're doing a ranged shot.
Don't hit my parents.
You gotta remember, you didn't know he was really there because you were blocking the tent.
Hold on.
Well, hey, you know the zombie was there because there's battle going on. You can see them in plain sight around Balasar.
No, I'm talking about this one right over here.
Oh, you would not know he's there at this point. The only people who would, Venfina and Roland are the two that can see him or that know where each of these are. You guys have a battle. You guys understand where the people are in this field because of your divine sense.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and sprint this turn. Or, what did you call it? Dash.
Roll and Dora Morland, you yelled out, didn't you, when you went in?
I did what?
When you went in, you yelled, didn't you?
When I went in where?
To where you're standing.
I'm standing?
Correct.
Yeah, I yelled.
Okay, so you guys do know that he is just running at something over there. You don't know what it is, but you know he's charging towards something.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about him there by himself, so I'm gonna go back him up, and I'm gonna dash to get to him.
Okay, so go ahead and dash. That'll take your action. Do you have any bonus actions you'd like to take? I see a portal!
Because my only good spell I can do to catch him from evil and good is actually an action, not a bonus action. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Dash to him.
Okay.
Well, no, you said that takes my action, so
Yep,
okay.
that'll take your action. So go ahead and move where you're going. Yes, you can double it. If you're going through that tent flap, you're gonna need to do
I'm gonna
a.
go around the tent flap.
Okay. Because if you're going to go through it, you can. You're just going to have to do an acrobatics check to see if you can vault it.
That's 20.
That's default.
Yep. Because you have 35 feet, right? Or 30 feet?
I have 30.
Okay, so you can go 60.
I'm gonna go.
And just note that those round circle areas are all considered basically bad terrain. Where that pathway, it's an incline on a hill, but it's not enough to wind you.
I made my move.
All right, cool. All right, so it landed. Now Roland. Zombies 1 through 12. You're up on deck.
So I'm kind of like, there's so much going on. I look at Vivina. You got the wizard?
She will say, I've got him in my sights. She had to step away because baby was crying. But, yes.
Okay, because in that case, I am running towards the big concentration of undead where I just saw my dwarf friend and off to. And I'm going to be doing double move as well, so we'll go, let's see, we're going to go 20 feet to there.
Okay. So you
I
got
can
there?
actually get about... Holy crap! I didn't think I could make it far.
Wow, what a move.
Pew!
Hi.
So what was your movement speed again?
It was 60 total, so 30 feet and 30
Okay,
feet.
got it. Man.
Okay. And so I kind of running around. Actually, let me just recap that.
If you went through the tent pole, then you go ahead and roll just to see if it trips you up. If it trips you up, I'm just going to reduce the speed by 10.
All right. Well, acrobatics is amazing. So here we go.
I'd say it's relatively low DC. That just makes it.
Okay. So I'm gonna stumble over it a little bit.
Yeah, you'll fumble a little bit, but not bad.
Yep. And I bring my shield to bear right in front of me. Foul creatures, and then it's my turn.
And as he's bearing down, he toots. Okay, zombie in the front. He sees things coming forward. At this point, they're not too smart. They don't see a hole very well. He's still fixated on the initial enemy that he could smell. So he's gonna go forward to hit Dormorlum with his slam attack. Does a 5 hit?
No.
So he's like, and he smacks you, and his finger falls off when he does it. Hits the ground. Zombie number 2, way over here by the tent flap. He's going to start making his way towards Aurora. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, so he's going to be there. Then he's going to use his dash action. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gets to here. At this point, he's just going to look at you and breathe nasty stank breath. Because he's out of breath, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, he goes next. Next person. Alright, so next person in the hallway. He's going to walk forward. He's going to try and take an attack here at Roland. Slam attack. That is a natural 20. Can you block a natural 20?
No, not quite.
Okay.
Creatures.
So he comes at you, and this guy, when he was barreling, if you've ever played Left 4 Dead, the big charger guys, this dude just and he swings with his arm, like both arms just careening out, and this guy seemingly just has really big, thick, gnarly, maybe he was a blacksmith in his past life, not sure, comes up at just a wide sweeping from the ground up to your face, hits the bottom of the shield, and it just catches enough to where it clobbers you in the side of the head. For 6 plus 5 bludgeoning damage. That's going to be 11. Okay?
Okay.
Watch where you're on. Just kidding. Alright, so he does his damage.
Still dead.
It hurts! It hurts! The one good roll my zombies get tonight. So these guys are going to come forward. We're going to start filling the gaps. 5, 10, 15, 20. Right here. Next zombie. Zombie. 5, 10, 15, 20. This one's going to use his dash action. 5, 10, 50. He's going to come to right here. They're just basically doing mob mentality zombies. They're just going to start, like, pushing and filling in every crevice. Alright, we got another zombie. So 5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, Hammond Cost. After Venfina astutely recognizes the spell that Hammond Cost had used, Misty Step, to disappear into his cave, into his little cavern, he is going to turn over his shoulder, see that she's standing there, and he says, "I warned you!" And he's going to cast at her Magic Missile at the second level. Oh, whoops. I gotta pull up Magic Missile just a second.
Feel good.
Alright, Magic Missile. So this is, here we go. This is gonna be 3d4 plus 3. And if it's cast at a higher level, second slot or higher, 1 additional dart. So it's going to be 44 plus 3.
Holy crap. How many, like,
wow.
Holy crap.
Wow. Wow.
Wow, that's a lot of ones.
What new?
Alright, so that's going to, it's 44 plus 3. Is that one an attack? I don't think Magic Missile's an attack, right?
Cast is an attack, but you don't roll it.
Yeah, you don't roll attack for it. Okay, so she takes 8 force damage. Not bad, not bad. You do.
I'm
What?
about to retaliate, wait.
Okay. I'm giving her the opportunity to do a reaction if she wants, because she was tending to my spawn. Hammond Cost, he turned around and he says, "I warned you." He looked over his shoulder and cast a magic missile at the second level, doing 8 damage unless you can find a way to react. I'll give you a T-timer of 10 seconds.
So he attacked just me?
Yeah, just you. He shot at you for 8 damage.
Okay.
Okay.
I cannot
react, so that's fine.
Okay, so you just take the damage. As it comes at you, at this point you have your glaive still out. It hits you in the left shoulder. Most of the intended damage seems to glance off of it, and this force damage just dissipates a little bit, but you feel a little bit of a dent in that armor on your shoulder. So you take 4 just force damage.
4?
4. Sorry, 8. I'm sorry, 8,
okay,
not 4.
8 already.
I was thinking 44. All right, so next up, zombie who rolled the worst, number 1. He's gonna 4, and then he's just gonna fill in the gaps.
My companions have gotten hurt.
Is Roland okay? I stepped away for a minute.
Yeah, I did too.
He got a crit on him, yeah.
Who has gotten hurt?
You don't know. You've seen yourself get hurt, but you haven't seen anyone else get hurt. You do sense a mass of undead that are coming together to create one super mass.
Have any of them attacked Warlock yet?
Yes, but they missed. He broke his finger off when he did it.
He broke his finger off?
Yes, the zombie did.
Oh, off of the zombie.
Yeah, the zombie itself did. So this zombie is going to try... Yeah, the zombie's going to stand up. This guy who is prone.
Sorry, the wizard shot a magic missile.
What about magic missile?
He shot a magic missile.
Yes, Hammond Cost did. He shot a magic missile at the second level.
Is that something that causes a lot of noise that we would all kind of...
You would probably have heard Venfina. You're wearing plate mail, aren't you? She's wearing heavy armor. You would have heard the sound. You might not have. I don't know what sound a magic missile would make. Maybe it has like a. I'm imagining like a sparkler, and then a sudden as it hits something. So you probably heard the tang of it hitting Venfina in the chest.
Okay, Dormorland, don't forget that you have
Sanctuary, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You remember? So they have disadvantage or something.
So
Yes.
sanctuary. Let's see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're just warded, and then if they harm you, then they have to make a wisdom saving.
Or choose a new target. On a
Yep.
save.
And note that if you attack anything, it ends that spell. If Dormorlum attacks something, he loses the sanctuary.
Yes.
At the very bottom, if a warded creature makes an attack or casts a spell that affects any enemy creature, the spell ends. That's okay. That was cool. It's cool.
So he still has it because he hasn't attacked?
That is correct. He still has it. He has not attacked yet. So at least with that sanctuary, yes, that is correct. So zombie up here gets up in front. He's going to try and make a retaliation attack at the panther. Scrolling down, does a critical 1 hit? So he tries to punch, but it kind of throws him a little bit off balance. He kind of shambles forward a little bit more, and you just kind of like self-loathing is what you're hearing in his voice.
So like the Grinch when he's talking about what he's got going on.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Why didn't I pay attention in zombie school?
I'm a bad zombie. Bad underling. Master, I'm not sure how this was thought through.
Yeah.
All right, so this zombie moves forward, and you're starting to feel a little bit of these. It's that typical zombie mentality where they're starting to push forcibly from behind. They're going to start to ripple. So you guys are those in the doorway that are blocking them and holding them back. You're going to start having strength contests to see if you can keep them in this choke point. That makes sense. Okay.
Are we doing that now?
Not this time. This will be the next time they come in that round. Dormorlum.
Let's just kill a couple zombies and then we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
No worries. I am on that.
All right, Dormorlum, you're up, and Aurora, you're on deck.
I'm about ready to wipe out all these zombies here. By the way.
Uses his spin attack.
Sorry. That roll is for that roll. Sorry, is for burning hands. Anything within a 15-foot cone has to make a DC of an 11.
Okay.
Or take 3d8. Or
Okay.
3. Yeah. Wait.
Cone is 90 degrees. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. It's 90 degrees from where I'm at.
All right. So
I tried to put it up there instead of roll. That wasn't supposed to be a roll. That was supposed
all right. If it's 90 degrees, you should be able to get everybody. Roland might be in that cone where you're standing.
DC 11 save. Otherwise, they take 11 damage. Yeah, it's 3d6 damage, which is 11. Or if they make that DC 11 save, it's half damage.
Okay.
So if he angles it, he can get all but the one zombie on the far left and not hit me.
That's true. That's up to you how you're angling it. Boyo. You want to do it that way?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Alright, I'll allow it. So let me roll real quick, all these.
Ow.
That's a dexterity.
Dexterity.
And I'm going to do these guys at disadvantage just simply because they are a mass of zombies. Five, 6, 7. 3, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. Okay, and it's what's the DC on it again? 11?
11.
Alright. First one does not make his throw. So it's going to be this guy right here, right in front of you. And that was 11 fire damage?
11 fire damage.
Okay. Next one, he does not make his throw. That's going to be the guy to his left. Next one is going to be... Didn't make his either. Next one, this guy does make his. So that's going to be a... Let's see, that's
That's half. So 6.
Half. And the damage is rounded up on these, right?
Yeah, I believe so. So 6 damage.
All right, cool. We'll do 6, and then we're gonna go to the next one. Doesn't make it 11. Next one, he does make it. 6. Next one, he does not make it. All right. So those zombies, Dormorlum, Roland, you've got your shield up, a little bit dazed, and you just see this flash of light, and those things just engulf all of the zombies in front of you. They don't seem to be affected as much as you would expect on a living creature, but you do see, you know, some of their skin is charred and peeling back. The skin that was already really taut and tight with lack of moisture and life just kind of crumbles a little bit. So some of them, you see their jaw start to appear from the cinders, but they're all still standing and looking intently at their prey. All right, so that one is that was your action, correct?
That was my action.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Bonus action. I will summon my
Balrog! I mean, wait, hold on. Sorry, wrong
summon my Balrog. I will summon my Warhammer as a bonus action.
Okay. You link that for me, please? I'm not as familiar just yet.
Yeah, it is. I'll read it to you real quick. It basically, it's I forge a bond, weapon bond, so
doesn't it say?
It says as a bonus action on your turn, causing it to teleport instantly to your hand.
Okay, that's right. Because before you said you had spent time creating that bond.
Yeah,
got it.
1 hour in the town
cool.
creating a bond between that, so I can never disarm it.
Okay, so thunk, here it is. Ding, da, 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 da. Now, Aurora, what are you doing? Tiger Lily on deck. Balasar after that.
I'm attacking that zombie again.
Okay, you're gonna go ahead and attack the zombie in front of you. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Yeah, short sword.
Short sword. Okay.
Up here. For what? I have one turn on in my bedroom.
23. It does hit. Go ahead and roll for damage. So the zombie reaches, you see him clawing forward, reaching for Tiger Lily, and as he does, you bring your sword down and just cleave off what's rest. You hear the grating sound of just the flesh that sinks in, and you feel it hit bone, and you just feel this heavy contact as it splinters part of this zombie's arm for 7 piercing damage.
That's my bonus action.
Okay, and you all you see is as he looks towards you with this confused look. You pull your sword out of his arm, and then Tiger Lily, what you doing?
She jumps on him
She swipes at him with her claw attack, right? Or is this her bite attack?
Let's do claw attack. That one.
Okay, so she's gonna your typical. She's got the hair on the back of her neck. She pulls back a little bit like a cat that's ready to pounce. Comes forward and just using her paw. All of her claws extended. Go ahead and roll for attack with a +4. So 1d20 +4. It also has a reach of 5 feet, so she can technically reach both of those zombies. A natural 20, that does hit. Go ahead and roll for damage, which is going to be the 1d4 +2. But I can't remember. When it's a critical, you do that would be a 2d4 +2, right? Not a 2d4 or 1d4 +2 twice. Is that right, Nupiru?
It doesn't tell me for critical stuff.
I'm sorry, I only heard for that.
When it's a critical, she just rolls the dice twice, not the modifier. +2, right?
Yeah, she rolls the dice twice and then adds the...
Okay, so that's a 2d4 +2 for damage. Okay, so that is a 4 and a 3, so that's a 7 +2. 9. So she says 9 damage. So as she comes in, the zombie, you've still just barely dislodging your sword from his arm. He's looking your direction. She takes the paw and just claws sink right into the neck, and she throws its head, kind of tumbling real close nearby. As you see the head kind of roll off, you would expect to see the body fall. Well, let's see what happens. This is a Constitution saving throw. Okay, so it rolls 5. It's damage taken. All right, so the 5, she took 9 damage. It as that damage or as the zombie's head kind of rolls off, you see the body kind of slump a little bit, but it straightens back up. And at this point, you see that the zombie was slightly affected, but it was able to pull itself back with this whatever unearthly binding is that keeps it alive. So the zombie's standing there before you. Tiger Lily and Aurora, you did yours. Is there any other actions you want to take?
We're good.
Okay. Next up, Balasar. What are you doing?
Sorry, I had to step away for a minute. Give me 1 second.
No worries.
On that note, I am going to stop just for a second.
I am going to make... Sorry, hang on.
And as a note, that zombie in front of you, he is looking worse for wear, but he is still alive. I'm still
I'm just
alive.
going to move forward and attack him.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack. Is this with your glaive again?
Yeah.
With your glaive, note that it does have a reach of 5, so you could hit him from where you were standing.
I'll shoot you. Sorry,
But it's up to you.
I'm trying to get my character sheet up.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back. I'm still alive. Balasar, all right. Glaive for 18 damage to the guy right in front of you. Yes, that does hit. Go ahead and roll for damage. That's a 10 slashing damage. It does contact, so he's going to make another con saving throw. That would be 10, 15. It rolls a 12. So this time you sink it in as you see it kind of the headless zombie come back forward. You just slam it right into its chest. You feel the pulsing energy of whatever was keeping it alive as it grows slump. So it finally gives up the ghost.
The ghost too?
It's now a ghost. Perfect. No, it's dead. All right. So, any bonus actions?
Having not moved, can I still move?
Yes, you can move, and you do not provoke an opportunity of attack, unless Tiger Lily doesn't like you, and then maybe.
As long as you don't shoot her, she's fine.
So noted. If Clandon's ever by her and tries to walk away, Tiger Lily gets an opportunity of attack.
Alright, I'm gonna start making my way around and trust that she can handle it her own on the last one.
Okay.
Maybe that's a good idea, maybe not.
Alright. So you've got it. You've moved out there. And next up, Venfina.
Where's Aurora?
She already did.
No, is she up here, Balasar?
Balasar's up there, yeah. Balasar moved. She's up there with the last zombie. Okay, Venfina, you're looking into the tent. Hammond Cost just pounded you with a force damage to your left shoulder. What are you gonna do? Clandon, you're on deck.
Okay, he is not invincible. He just like teleported somehow. That's where.
Okay, so you were out of the room when I said that. So what happens is you recognize the spell he cast. He cast Misty Step to go into the tent.
Gotcha.
So you saw that he, in that flash, that puff of smoke, essentially was him casting Misty Step. So at this point, he's in a defensive position. There's nothing in the middle of the room obstructing. It seems like that's just kind of, he's got a little fire pit place maybe where he might cure some stuff. But as far as there's nothing lit in this room. It's very dark.
Wait, I would like to cast sleep on him.
Okay, go ahead and link it for me. And roll for, I think, you roll it, and then it's based on his health, right?
Oh.
22. Yes, I believe 27, that's, exceeds his, sleep.
Total time hit point spell can affect the in 20 feet of a point used in range are affected.
Okay, so ascending order. He's the only one in there. You rolled a 27, and that does put him to sleep. Now, is there a save that he can do to wake up? Or is it sleep? Sorry, she's reading. I just need to know if I need to roll for him or if he's decommissioned.
Creature's hit points must be equal to or less than.
Starting with the creature that has the lowest current hit points, each creature affected by the spell falls unconscious until the spell ends. The sleeper takes damage, or uses an action to shake or slap the sleeper awake.
Okay, so he's asleep until someone slaps him, attacks him, etc. If I'm understanding. How long does it last? Last 1 minute? Okay, cool. So you've bought yourself some time with him. He's now asleep.
And what do I see happening with the zombies?
There seems to be no effect to the zombies. He fell unconscious, but the binding of these zombies may not be necessarily to him.
Well, since I have some rope, I will go forward and tie him up.
Sounds good. Go ahead and tie him up. Wait. You can move forward. Was that sleep bonus action? If not, then you'll tie him up on your next turn.
Action. Yeah, I'll just approach him.
Okay, you can approach him, and then you can do it next turn. So you enter the tent. You get the heavy smell of oiled canvas and old linens. The outside seems much more finer, just because it seems like when the rain washes through. But inside, it's very damp and dusky, and yeah. It's decrepit. All right, Clandon, what are you doing? Roland, you're on deck.
Right. Sidestep here a little bit.
All right.
I'm pull up my.
And note that these guys are coming down towards you. You guys are downhill from them. Does that make sense? So you could right now, Clandon, you from where you're standing have full view of those zombies, front to back. But they're starting to pile up on each other like a.
And is Tora injured, or is he all right?
Roland is injured. Yes.
Oh, that's what I meant, Roland. Okay. Then I'm gonna attack with my longbow.
Okay.
But before I do that, I'm gonna use horns.
Okay. So you pull it back and you knock your arrow. You're about to fire, and you feel just this crackling energy as the bow, the arrow itself. You feel little pieces of the bow of the arrow itself start pulling off and splintering, and just hovering in this green natural like energy. Go ahead and roll for your attack.
All right. Oh my goodness, I'm struggling tonight.
Also note that because they're all smashed in there, their dexterity saving throw, except for the guy in the back, are all at disadvantage.
Oh, by the way, I'm attacking this guy here, if this makes a difference. Since I'm down.
Yeah, yes, that will make a difference. Go ahead and shoot it.
Almost.
his hand thing, Balasar, did it like catch him on fire or something?
No. Question: burning hands, does that catch them on fire permanently, or is that just it burns them?
It just burns them. They don't stay on fire.
Okay. So I don't have to roll for damage. Good.
Yeah, you don't have
Okay.
to roll.
Yes, you damage them. Go ahead and roll your longbow, and then add the 1d10 piercing damage on top of that. So the 11 piercing will go to that one specific guy. Where's that guy's damage? Where are all these dudes' damages? Ah, I hate you, roll 20. Hold on, just a second. I'll go through here, go by memory. I know 2 of these guys took half damage, so I'm just going to do it at random because roll 20 is retarded.
I like that 8 there.
11.
Okay. Alright. Try that. Okay, there we go. Let's cancel that. Alright, so the 11 piercing damage to that one guy. That's 16. I'm rolling for him real quick, so you do this in order of operations. 16. Okay, so your arrow pierces him, and it does the damage to him, and then as it hits, you hear just that the sound of just if a wood chipper, just planks just flying everywhere. You see all these little tiny barbs flying away from the impact, hitting all of the zombies in that ring, including that zombie himself. You get the sense that that zombie would have come back to life if you did not have that little extra bump of damage. So he is dead. The zombies around him are going to do a dexterity saving throw. That's 4 of them. Alright, there's 4 of them. Okay, and they're at disadvantage except for the guy in the back. The guy in the back succeeds. And what is it when piercing damage failed save? Half the damage. Okay, so half the damage. What was the damage? It was 4. So this guy in the back takes 2. The guy up above, everyone else fails. Except for what's the DC on that?
DC.
Yeah, it says dexterity saving throw. What's your spell save DC? I'm assuming the guy with the 3 didn't make it. Same with the guy at the 7 and the 8.
Go to the spells tab. It's up in the
Should
spell DC 11.
11. Okay, so fail. So those both take 4. And then the last guy succeeds on his, so that's just 2 more. So you see all these splinters. The smell of what kind of arrows do you use? What are the shafts made of? What kind of wood?
Good. Balsa.
Oak, balsa wood. You have the heavy smell of cedar in the air as all these splinters of cedar just pelted everything around it. All right. Any other actions? Roland, you're up.
So I took this block shield and I kind of back a little bit and take my head and I bring the shield right again and tap the 2-pronged sword against it, and it makes that kind of tuning fork sound. And I shout, "Come on, protect me!" Cast protection from good evil.
Okay.
So basically, until the spell ends, any dead has disadvantage on attack against me, and I can't be charmed or possessed by it.
Okay, perfect.
And that is my action, and I don't have any bonus action that I can take worth anything. Let me just check.
And do note, Dora Morlum, you do not have Sanctuary anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roger that.
Yep, I don't have anything else, so that's what I'm doing.
Zombie number 1, he is going to make his slam attack at you, Dora Morlum. Does a 14 hit? Dora Morlum?
14 hit.
14?
No, it does not.
Okay, so he swings at you, slams, doesn't quite do as much damage as the zombie wanted. Next zombie in line. Come in the line. This one's up here at Aurora. So he is going to make his slam attack at you, Aurora. That is a 8. Does an 8 hit?
No.
Gosh dang it. Come on, zombies! You're killing me! Literally, you're dead! So he swings at you, didn't quite make purchase, so he's obviously the lesser zombie. So next zombie is down here, he's going to be swinging at you, Roland. It's going to be slam attack.
It's a disadvantage.
Yep, so he's going to take a 13. Does 13 hit?
No.
Okay, so he swings and he misses. So the same thing, you just kind of glance him off with that shield. All right, so now zombie in the back is going to start doing a strength, starting to push you guys outward, okay? So what we're going to do is Roland and Dora Morlum. Let's see, this next guy. I'm going to make 3 strength rolls for the 3 zombies that are taking their turns. Actually, all of them. What's the easiest way to do this? I'm going to take an average. I'm going to roll for each of them. I'm going to average them. And then I want you two to roll. I'm going to take your average of your rolls. And we're going to see which one's higher. If you guys succeed, you will keep these zombies from pushing you back. It's basically going to be like a strength contest. Because if I do flat rolls, you guys are going to lose. Yeah, just basic strength. So both of you just roll a either strength or athletics, whichever one's higher for you. Because this is 6 zombies.
Wait, hold on. That's what I want.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right.
Oh, crap. 12 are average.
Yep. Come on, Roland. Get it together.
All right, so this is 0 the strength.
Is
That's
my protection from good and evil helping at all?
Yeah, go ahead and roll for advantage on that.
Who?
I would say you roll for advantage for your strength roll. So that's 11.
Better.
Yes, that's better. So you guys you managed to hold them back. Their average was 11. So you guys definitely were able to keep them at bay. So you feel this moaning pulse as they just start forcing their way towards you guys. You get the sense that if they start surrounding you, you might be in trouble. Cost is asleep. Dormorlam, it is now your turn again. So I'm just going to do that group roll every time.
It's grabbing. It's also grabbing another weapon. Is that an action? Or
if it's a large weapon, I would consider it an action. If it's like a dagger at your hilt and you have a one-handed weapon, I think it's fine.
Nope. Hand axe at my side. So
yep.
In one hand I have my warhammer, and the other hand I have my hand axe.
Yep. I would assume you'd have a loop on your side. That's totally fine. Did you pull it up?
So as a bonus, I pulled my war axe, so now I have a war axe and a warhammer, or a hand axe and a warhammer.
Okay.
War axe. Anyways.
And that bonus action you took on a different turn, so this you should still have a bonus action available if you need it.
No, I did bonus action last turn for my warhammer, and this one's my bonus action for my hand axe.
So you can actually draw
gotcha.
or still a weapon, the hand free as part of your action.
Correct.
Okay. So,
it's a part of your action, so you still have a bonus action available if you want to use it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I shall take my. So for my first weapon, it will be my warhammer against the zombie directly in front of me.
Okay. And that was two-handed. Yes, it does hit.
It was one-handed.
That was one-handed. Go ahead and either way it hits. So one-handed is going to be the value on the left when you roll for damage.
11.
Okay, so 11. So the 11 hits, and it contacts as you do so. Let's see, Constitution. You hit the zombie, and you feel it go a little bit slump in front of you. But as it does, you feel it just kind of like, if you've ever seen someone starting to fall asleep and they start jerking awake, you see this zombie start moving erratically and stand back up and faces you with now a much caved in forehead.
And then I will go with my hand axe. 22.
Okay, 22 does hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
And
4 flashing. Okay, and you slash into it again, and you feel it sink somewhere deep. You feel it sever somewhere in its shoulder, and it starts to go a little limp again as it starts to fall forward. But again, you feel it just start convulsing and comes back to life and looks you in the face. And at this point, it's a little bit ticked off that you're making its chances with the lady zombies less with all these scars and gashes.
I get a date to zombie prom.
Exactly, right? A zombie prom.
Man, 26 damage done to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's still alive.
He's holding on by a thread, but he's there.
Alright. And,
you get the sense that you're not when you're hitting these dudes. It takes a pretty seismic hit to get these to stay down.
as a bonus action,
No.
can't kick him back into the other zombies.
No, that would be considered an action because it's an attack.
Okay, in that case, no bonus action.
But for flavor, you can kick it in the shin and it'll just look at you.
Alright, flavor, kick him in the shin.
Alright, Aurora.
Bite your thumb at it.
Yep. Aurora and Tiger Lily. Balasar, you are on deck. What you gonna do when zombies come for you?
Alright, I'm gonna attack this zombie right here close to me.
Okay, go ahead. I'll have you guys know that Aurora's up there dispatching 3 zombies. You guys haven't killed one. Oh, you killed one.
I killed one of them.
I'm just trolling. I'm just trolling you.
I was gonna say I killed one of those.
I know, I'm just trolling you. All right, so you hit. Go ahead and do for damage. 3 damage. All right. So you do 3 damage to it. It sinks in. That takes, good purchase. Zombie is obviously unarmed. Badooch. Yeah, what do you want Tiger Lily to do? That's pretty bad, I know.
So I'm gonna have her claw at him.
Okay, so claw attack. She goes ahead and is she going over the corpse of the zombie in front, or is she running around the side? If she runs around the side, you can also take a pounce again if you'd like. It's up to you.
Let's do the pounce.
Okay, so she's gonna pounce. He's gonna do a strength saving throw. And a 9 misses. He is prone. She gets a bite attack. Go ahead and roll for the bite attack. Oops, not the cat's not dead.
I do a d20, right?
First.
Say that one more time.
Which one of us?
You roll. Tiger Lily will roll a 1d20 for that, plus 4, I believe, to hit. Yes. Yes, 1d20 plus 4. So that's a 10 plus 4, 14. So 14 does hit. Go ahead and roll for damage. On the bite attack, which is going to be a 1d6 plus 2. And you do have advantage on these rolls, but you already... Go ahead and roll it again, just in case you get a critical. So the 1d20. So that's 1d6. Go ahead and roll your 1d20. And we'll see if you get a critical, because it'll double your rolls. Okay, no. Alright, so we'll take the first one, because it's, again, it's advantage, because he is prone. And that's 1 damage to him. Okay, so he doesn't seem to quite take effect, but he is now prone on the ground.
It's actually 3.
3?
Yeah, because the bite attack is 1d6 plus 3 or plus 2.
Oh, you're right. It's 1d6 plus 2.
She never made the claw attack either, so we need to do that one as well.
5, 6, 7.
Because the bite is the bonus action.
Correct. Correct. Okay, go ahead and do your claw attack.
Which will be the same 1d20 plus 4.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yep, that hits. Go ahead and roll it again, because again, advantage. See if you get a critical. take the first. We'll take the first one. Okay, roll for damage, and that is going to be your Panther of the claw attack. 1d4 plus 2.
D6 or D4.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
1d4 plus 2.
D4.
Balasar, remember you're on deck. Vinfine is after that. That's a 2-4. All right, so you do 4 more additional damage.
Go Tiger
Okay.
Lily.
Tiger Lily's just tearing apart
Yeah,
zombies
she's
left and
a
right.
beast.
Literally. Well done. There's so many puns tonight. Punny, punny, punny.
In the door.
Bonk, bonk. All right, Balasar, what you doing?
I'm running.
Okay, keep running. How far are you going? 60 feet? Or are you gonna... From there, you can see some of the zombies, but they're a little obstructed with everybody. And I would also permit it, if you went right here, you could reach these 3 zombies, because you do have reach on that glaive, if you're using the glaive. Just to keep your options open.
Does he have that much movement speed?
That's like 55.
Alright, so you used your dash action?
Yep.
Okay, do you have any bonus actions?
Nope.
Alright, next, Vinfina. He used his dash.
Okay, so I'm going to tie him up with my rope.
Okay, tie him with a rope, tie him with a rope. Gotta keep them separated. Hey, hey! Alright, he's now tied, he's bound and sleeping.
And how bound is he? Like,
Roll a sleight of hand check for me. Let's see how tight. You are a terrible knot tire. So you sit and fumble a little bit. He's tied, but he's not. The knot that you're doing, you're having a little trouble with it. So you can try and tie it tighter next turn if you want. But he's at least encumbered to the point at which it would take him a full action to get out of it.
Alright,
well, I'd like to just look around the room, look at what he's trying to grab and such.
Okay. You see in that room. I'll allow that as part of the action. So you go ahead, and when you're looking around the room, you see on his writing desk some of the supplies. He's got a satchel that seems to have some clothes in it. He looks like he was kind of putting things together. You see that there might be there's a lumpy pouch nearby. You're not really sure what's in it. You do see a bone tube that is sitting on the back of one of the chairs. It has a sling around it that's just kind of hanging there. He seemed to be grabbing a couple of different items from the table itself, some papers, some things he was putting into his desk, but nothing specific. Like there's not like a knife or this is what he was going for. He seemed to just be going about his business, assuming that the zombies would take care of you guys.
He didn't seem like he was trying to leave or anything.
No, he was being dismissive of you guys.
Gotcha.
All right, Clandon. Roland's on deck.
All right. Hey, real quick, what's your modifier?
Your what?
Ability modifier?
Your ability modifier should be the proficiency bonus, isn't it? Or are you talking about your spell ability?
Well, no, because I was just reading and I forgot I could have added my ability modifier to the second attack.
The ability modifier is the bonus or negative for like dexterity, strength, constitution. Ability modifier.
Correct.
So dexterity modifier?
It depends on the weapon. Which weapon are you referring to?
My hand axe, when I attacked, I could have added my ability modifier to the damage.
Hand axe is not a finesse weapon, so I believe it's strength.
Okay, so I can add. Okay,
yep.
That's just. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, keep that in mind.
Can I maybe roll inspiration for that sleight of hand?
The 1d6. I believe you did have inspiration. On this one, just because it's so far gone, probably not. But the next one, yes, you could. Okay, so Clandon, what are you?
Alright, I'm gonna attack this guy right here.
Alright, just normal attack. Go for it and roll for it. Alright, hit him. Hit him hard! Bring him down, Legolas. Bring him down. That did not hit anything. You're firing as you're shooting. It still only counts as one. As you're shooting, you're feeling a little bit queasy at the smell that's just permeating through this as they start spelling through. So when you're firing, you do have inspiration if you want to use it. Everyone on that last game does have inspiration for until probably the end of this thing. So if you're gonna use it, use it.
It gives you advantage on the attack.
Oh yeah.
I already did my attack. So.
It's not. Yeah, it's not bardic.
Not bardic. You're right. So you can roll advantage if you want.
And you use your longsword there.
Oh.
Oh.
roll your longbow and roll it twice, and that'll be your advantage for this one.
So do what?
Roll the longbow twice if you want to use your advantage for the inspiration. So which one do you want to use, huh? Which one do you want to use? Natural 20! Alright, go ahead and roll your damage. Setting the bar high. So that's 7 plus 8, and which one are you attacking?
The one closest to me.
Okay, so this one right here? Got it. Alright, so that... He's gonna roll for Constitution. If it'll roll. Alright. So as you hit it, you feel it sink, and you know you hit your mark true. He just crumples into a pile of crap. He is now nothing but rags and bones and some stinky flesh.
Take that, zombie scum!
Since there's that range plus a natural 25.
Did you...
Second one.
Oh, you're right. You clicked on the... Did you click on the... No. Did you click on the first one or the second one?
The first one.
Yeah, it did it. It did it. Let's see. 1d8 plus 3. You should have rolled 2d8 plus 3. Either way, it's dead. Overkill. You get that? Yeah, you see that?
Did the arrow go through and get the next one?
Did the arrow go through and get the next one? Because they are rotten flesh. That's what I want.
Since if it was anything, let's do a. Let's see. There's no trick shot. Do a roll for me. I'm going to allow it to go through, but to see if it hits, I want you to roll for
nature
strength.
Roll for strength. Let's see how hard you pulled that bowstring back. That's a save. What's your modifier? I'll use the same base. What's your modifier? It's 15 plus. Your strength is 3, isn't it?
Your top left.
1. It's 1.
It's 1. So that's 16.
Honey, he got an 8.
No, the 18 is with his strength save. That's different than his regular strength. Okay, so that's a. So the
I can just roll strength again.
No, it's fine. It's fine. 15 plus the 1. It does go through, hits the guy behind it, and I'm gonna just say half damage. Just because it's gonna remove the momentum. If it's anything but a 20, I won't give you the flavor, but we'll give you some flavor for this.
He rolled 7 plus 8.
I was gonna say that's a natural 20.
Does he roll another
through.
8?
That's a good question. Let me look at your longbow real quick. I don't know if your stats are showing up correctly, Clandon, for a critical.
I have no idea.
All right, so it rolled a 1d8 plus 3 and then a second 1d8 and added it. Yeah, it rolled it right. It's good. You're fine. All right, so it does that. So that's going to go in there.
So was that the guy that got 2 damage last time or 4?
Say what?
So the second zombie that it hit, he took some damage from my Hail of Thorns.
Yes. That was
This back one was the one that got half damage.
There's 2 of them that got half damage. Right?
Correct. There's 2 of them that took half damage. The guy in the back here, because he wasn't at a disadvantage, and then this guy right here just got lucky.
So this guy's taking how much damage now?
You're not sure. You roll an insight check for me.
I guess that's a good point.
They don't have HP bars above them. They did have a little overkill text that popped up, but
Dude, I'm rolling this turn.
You're seeing, as far as that zombie, the ones that... Which one are you specifically inciting?
One that's not dead in between.
The one that's not dead that you hit? He is...
Yeah, the one behind the one I killed.
If he was breathing, he would be breathing heavily.
If I could breathe.
He seems to be barely holding his himself together.
Cool.
All right, next up, Roland.
Indeed it is. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to make an attack against this zombie right in front of me.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Crap. I thought I had everything ready.
Okay, so that's a 15. That does hit.
Okay, and then I'm going to use my divine smite,
Ooh.
which gives me a 2d8 on this attack.
And it's radiant. All right, so that's a 6. Does damage, and then roll for your radiant or your.
Is it equals roll? Or
Are you talking about? I don't remember.
Like, how do I roll 2d8?
Oh, slash roll space 2d8. / roll space 2d8. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Okay, so you're hitting this guy in the front. He takes an initial 6 damage. And then on top of that, there's another 2 radiant damage. So you, having seen Vinfina, or, yes. Yeah, Vinfina. Yeah, I get it right this time. Vinfina. You see Vinfina, and you're like, oh, this is my moment. God, let me go. What do you do? What's your flavor?
I've got the shield up, and I kind of push a little bit back, and then I bring the sword underneath the shield and just stab it in the ribcage, and these golden sparks of lightning rub up the sword in kind of this radiant arc on this zombie.
Okay, and as it enters into the zombie's body, you hear this as it recoils.
The damage increased by 1d8 if the target is undead.
Okay, then roll another 1d8.
Ooh.
Good.
Oh, thank goodness it wasn't another one.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is a positive. It shows you how you can use the rules in your favor. So this is +4 on that.
Yep.
And at this point, how do you want him to die?
I want him, like, his mouth opens up and kind of bite, and just his golden sparks of lightning just come out of his mouth, and they start coming out of his eyes, and then he just kind of splits apart, not blows apart. It's not as cool as Vinfina, obviously, but he just kind of, like, these golden arcs just through him in that kind of cool electric wave, like Tesla coil almost.
Okay.
Just splits it.
And then you just see him as he falls to the ground, most of his essence crumbling to ash. He is dead.
And that does my last spell slot.
Okay.
You can from the inside.
Cooking from the inside. All right, Roland. Next zombie. A zombie in the front. He, seeing this flash of holy energy, is going to turn to attack you, Roland. And he has disadvantage, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So he rolls a 10 for disadvantage. Does that hit?
Nope.
So he just kind of throws himself at you. Doesn't quite make contact with where he wanted to. Let's see, zombie here is going to attempt to get up. Okay. He is going to... the panther's not... it doesn't restrain him, right? It's not a strength contest. It just knocks him over.
Yeah, just...
Yeah. Okay. So he stands up, using his half his movement. He's going to make an attack at Tiger Lily. It does a 21 hit.
Yes.
Okay. He takes 5 bludgeoning damage. So at this point, he swings his claw around, just kind of, typical. Tries to get purchase with it finds it in the side of the panther's face, just digging its claws in it, throws it to the side. So that zombie finishes his turn. Next zombie.
You said it was 5 damage?
That is correct. 5 bludgeoning damage. All right, so let's roll these zombies. There's not a pushing effect going on right now because these zombies are now the two are in front, so he's going to climb over his compatriot and kind of fight you over the top of him. Next one fills in the gap. And these, I'm just going to do them both just for brevity. They're both going to be trying to attack you as they shamble up over their zombie friends. This is one of them, or both of them are going to be trying to hit Roland.
Woo!
So, disadvantage, yep. First one is a 17, does that hit?
No, a 17 does not hit.
Oh, okay, so it glances off. The other one was an 8, so I assume that also does not hit. So the two of them, they're just desperately clawing at your shield, and you just feel this the sizzling as they're just trying to get through this shield of Gond. You feel that your deity is smiling upon you today. Not Gondor, Gond.
Thought I heard Gondor call.
All right, so we're now at the top of the round again. I am eliminating zombies from the turn order. There we go. This last zombie, he's going to come up here. He can't quite get anything. They're going to do another push with this zombie behind. He's going to try and push you guys. So, Balasar, you're going to join this fray. Go ahead, Dormorlum, Balasar, and Roland. All of you roll a strength check. Roland, roll yours with advantage. These last 4 remaining zombies are going to do it with strength, and I'm going to do it flat this time.
Natural 20. I got 19.
By himself, Roland, Bastion of Justice.
Our strongest character is a 1.
That's okay.
Hungover and exhausted from running to catch up.
Yeah, he's still panting, can't quite get there, so he doesn't do much for me. He just kind of puts his hand on Roland and your back. You know, it's like that typical guy that's everyone's moving furniture and he's just there for moral support.
It's me.
Right? So
Exactly what I do.
you guys succeed in keeping these guys from pushing you back. You feel that next pulse of just hive mind. They're trying to just shamble forward, mindless meat bags that are just pushing against you. Nothing happens. You give a little ground, but you take it right back. Dormorlum, Aurora, you're on deck.
Alright, swing my warhammer. Zombie in front of me.
Zombie in front of you for a 9. That does still hit, surprisingly.
And one-handed 10 bludgeoning.
10 bludgeoning damage. Okay, so the 10 bludgeoning damage, it is going to make a con save. As a 6, it does not succeed its con save. So this time, when you hit it, you feel it just crumple beneath the warhammer. He is now dead. He's perma-dead. You hit him in the
definitely not gonna be a
yeah. How do you want him to die?
So I take my warhammer and swing it around from his head. Just crumples in like an accordion.
He goes stumbling away, and you can hear the
little polka music as he falls to the ground.
Yep.
All right, so that zombie is dead. I know, right? You got your second attack. Is that correct?
Yeah, I got second attack. Is that? Am I able to move forward or?
I'll allow it. Yes.
Well, it kind of allows still within range, right?
Because fighters, I want to say it's not 2 separate. Is it 2 separate actions? I want to say you can make 2 separate attacks, so they're not considered the same attack.
Yeah, they're 2 separate attacks.
So I would allow it. Yes, I'd allow you to take a step forward and swing at another one.
Alright, step forward and swing in at this one right.
Okay.
13.
13. That does hit. Go ahead and roll for damage. That's a 2.
5.
5.
So 5 slashing plus my strength modifier. Right? That's what we were going off of for ability modifier.
Yeah.
It already puts your strength in there.
Oh, is that what that?
So if you look at it, it's 1d6 plus 3.
But how does it know that I'm using that as a two-handed?
It's not using it as a 2-hand, it's using it as a 1-hand. The hand axe is assumed to always be a 1-hand.
Well, yeah, it's 1d6 plus 3 slashing damage, but then, due to my fighting style of two-handed, I get to add for my second
In
attack.
addition. I see.
In addition.
Okay, so go ahead and add whatever your roll is to the 5.
Well, so here's really quick. Here's two-weapon fighting. When you take the attack action, they attack with a light melee weapon that you're holding in one hand. You can use your bonus action to attack with a different light melee weapon that you're holding in the other. You don't add your ability modifier normally to the damage of the bonus attack unless that modifier is negative. So the two-weapon fighting for your fighter allows you to add that did here automatically for you.
Okay, cool. So in essence, if you were to do that normally, you wouldn't have the added bonus, but now it allows you to have it, so it's just 5. Okay.
And I think it works that into your fighter because
Gotcha.
you took that fighting style. I think it adds that for you.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right, so Dormorlam, you got that? Anything else?
No, just that extra.
All right. Aurora, zombie smacked your panther in the face. What you gonna do? And the tiger lily.
I'm gonna attack him with my sword.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack. Natural 20. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Nice.
Lots of 20s today. So that's a 4 plus 2. Did that one already do? Yes. So that one adds the damage. So that's 6. So you do 6 damage. Okay, so you just seeing that the panther got smacked makes you feel angry. You want to put any flavor on it?
I'm not that talented.
That's okay. So you go ahead and you smack it. You just again you're going at it with the sword, swinging at the zombie, slashing across the chest. He's good. Tiger Lily, what's she doing?
She is gonna do a claw attack.
Okay, go ahead and roll the 1d20 plus 4. $19, that does hit. Go ahead and roll damage. That's going to be 1d4 plus 2. All right, so that's a 5. Okay, so that's 10. It's going to roll a con save. It does not make its Constitution saving throw. How do you want Tiger Lily to dispatch of this zombie?
Ruthlessly.
Ruthlessly. Okay, so she sees the weakness in her prey, pounces on him, and excuse me, and just ruthlessly, she takes her claws, very similar to a dog when it's digging a hole. All you see is just shrapnel and shreds of zombie just go through this compost bin of panther. As she just digs in with her claws and just takes it, turns him to ribbons. He's dispatched.
Ribbons.
Balasar, Venfina, you're on deck. What you gonna do, Balasar?
Sorry about that. So I'm having trouble distinguishing. Maybe I'm colorblind. Which of these are dead and which of these are still alive?
Oh, I apologize. They have an X on them, but the X is red and the background's green. So, they are, so the ones that are dead, this ping right here.
Uh-huh.
So this one in the back's dead. There's 2 underneath these guys in the front that are dead.
Okay, so we have 3 alive in front.
Yeah, you have 3 alive in front of you. And those are the only ones that are left.
All right.
That you can see.
So, is it possible for me to step forward between Dwarfy and...
Right now, no. Those zombies are pushed up against them, but you can reach them from where you're standing. You do have reach.
Well, so I can't like nudge between my 2 comrades, is what you're saying?
Correct, just because of the space that's there. You can, if you wanted to, there would be enough room for your pole arm to make it through your glaive.
Right. Now I was wondering because I wanted to like ideally I wanted to nudge them both like
you could
push them both aside and then dragon breath the 3.
You could. I mean, you could step here, or you could try. You could go here to the side of him, or you can shove one of them out of the way. But I can't remember if shove is an action. Let me check.
You gotta remember, I only...
Door more of them you can't shove because there's just a wall.
But you could always, you know, lean over me and...
You could always get him in the fray, too. I'm okay with you cook the dwarf.
You do like, stand twice as high as I do.
You would help my zombies out if you fried the dwarf. But that's up to you, because what's the cone on it? Is it a 90-degree cone?
Checking.
Yeah, because I'm 3'8" is my height, so you could always just stand right behind me. And not
right. I'm trying to find it. Just a second.
Okay. I think on the red dragon breath. So on your character sheet, it's in the features section.
45 degree. There it is.
Perfect. 45 degrees. Got it.
15-foot cone. 45 degrees.
All right. 45. I need to get something that's a cone.
So half of a
90, 45.
So I can't really hit. Well, I could hit all of them.
If you were to fire, if you were to stand by Dora Morlum, you'd be able to hit 2 of them. If you went to the left of Roland, you'd probably be able to catch all 3.
All right, let's stand behind Roland then, and let's try and light all 3 of them up.
And my assumption is that you'd be putting your hand out and bracing Roland to step back just a little bit. Just because
so that he doesn't get scorched.
Exactly, because you don't in real life we don't stand on squares, so just saying.
Wow.
Well, unless you step on the cracks, then you break in the mother's back. Yeah. Go ahead and
no.
Go ahead and roll for your damage on it. All right, 7 fire damage, and that one I think it's. Is there any dex saving throws or anything, or is it just straight up?
Doesn't say anything.
I think the dragon breath
damages all creatures in the 45 degree from where I am.
All right, cool. So there's no save on it. All right, so it's or half damage. That's cool. We got it. They're going to do 7 fire damage to all 3 of them. All right, the first one, con saving. 7 plus 5. Yes, so the first one, you see him just turn to cinders. All the hair was once left just limp and just dank and nasty, all burned off of its face. The skin, the hair just peels back even further, and its eyes you can just see are just completely scorched. It starts to fall backwards a little bit, but it resists and steps forward, looking still standing. The second one takes it again, same situation. Its clothes that it had are being singed. Its face, its hair, skin, things are just starting to crack from the heat, but it is still standing. The third one is going to make a con save. That's a 15. It also makes its save. So same situation, last one. But you see each of them, obviously it did a fair amount of damage to all of them. So, and as you configure, finish your breath, just you guys can still feel the heat and the smell of burnt hair, and just it smells like peat moss that caught fire. All right, Vinfina.
Okay, I'm going to try see if there's anything I can figure out about his work.
Okay. Go ahead, and for your action, did you want to finish roll? Did you want to tighten his restraints? Still?
Will it be my action if I look around the room instead?
If you're going to search the room, because if you think about it, these actions are like 6 seconds.
Yeah, then I'm going to use my action to...
I will take
Okay. So this is 6 seconds. Yeah. So you still have time. He's going to be asleep for a couple more rounds. So if you want to look around the room, you see again the stuff that's laying around.
I'm not looking around. I'm tightening his restraints.
Okay, you're tightening his restraints. Go ahead, and for his restraints, they're tight. I'm not gonna make you roll for that. Okay, so he is tied up. He is secured.
I feel confident in leaving him there. And
Yes.
Be able to undo himself.
You knowing that he's a magic user after he had thrown a magic blast at you, you deftly have tied his hands in a manner that he's not able to use them. He's kind of like hogtied. Basically, his feet and his hands are all tied together. Just bound in a way that he can't make his arcane craziness that you know of. Is there anything else you want to do? Any bonus action?
I guess look around the room some more.
Okay. So you'll shuffle through the papers. We'll come to that on what you find in a minute. And Clandon.
Attack this guy over here.
Okay, go ahead and full roll your attack. Again, since this is an incline, you're just normal attack. You're not at disadvantage. 7 does not hit. So you shoot it. This one just tearing past the zombie. You see part of its shirt separate where the arrow had dispersed the air around it, but no damage was taken.
All right.
Anything else? Okay, Roland.
I'm gonna shout to my companions and tell them to hold fast, and then I'm gonna just attack the zombie in front of me.
Okay, go ahead and roll for your attack. The one directly in front of you in the middle.
That guy, the one on the left.
Left, okay, got it. All right, go ahead and it does hit. Go ahead and roll for damage. 1, 4, yes. So he takes it. Let's see. His con save. Yes, he rolled an 18. So he does make his con save. You hit him, but again, you didn't quite find that link that's keeping him in this world. So he slumps a little bit. As you stab him, again, another block of flesh spills onto the ground. The acrid smell of just death, but he is still standing.
I'm probably gonna throw up again after this.
Okay. Seeing, this guy was a little more fresh and plump than the other zombies. Think, okay, if you want a visual, what is that? Walking Dead, when they pull the zombie out of the well. Yep, pretty much, 100%. All right, next one. Next zombie is dispatched. That's the next zombie. All right, so the zombie that you just attacked, he's going to return. And is it still at disadvantage, correct?
Unless it's been 10 minutes. But
no, it's not been 10 minutes. Okay, so attack is 10. Does that hit?
Nope.
All right, he swings at you. He's a little off balance, having lost his innards to the ground, so he's still getting used to his new body.
So much lighter than I knew.
Yeah, I felt, wow, this is great. I should have had this done years ago. So the middle one is going to make an attack at Dora Morlum for a slam attack. Natural 20. Does that hit? That's a 5+2 bludgeoning damage.
So who is that on? Sorry?
That's in Dora Morlum.
Oh.
So this time, this zombie, he's found his second wind.
Okay, so he just hit somebody, correct?
He just hit Dora Morlum, yes.
Alright, I would like to review violence.
Can you see? Does it require you to see him?
It does not.
I know that you have divine sense.
This is my channeling.
But you're not within 30 feet of me, are you?
Yeah, I am actually.
Nope, 35.
Oh, you're the one person that I'm
not. Okay.
Yep.
Correct.
Can I use my reaction to do disadvantage on the attack with my protection fighting style? Or is it too late
Sure.
for that?
I'll allow it for now, because we were discussing a reaction. That's fine.
Okay.
So you go ahead and impose disadvantage. Does a 5 hit?
No.
It's a little different.
Yeah, so he's coming straight at your face, and all of a sudden,
shield
is right there to block it for you.
But dang, sucker!
And then, like any true Reinhardt, I'm gonna charge in and leave my group.
Stand behind me. All right, zombie number 3. He's gonna make another attack, swinging at Dora Morlum again. It does a 10 hit.
No.
All right, so he's having trouble trying to get past the other zombie, and the shield that came through just kind of deflects his hands out of the way as well. Dora Morlum, you're hit, and Aurora, you're up on deck.
Burst Warhammer. 7 hit.
7 does not hit.
Ooh, swing in on us. Well, I'll come around. Use my momentum to swing with the hand axe at a 9.
A 9 barely hits, yes. Go and roll for damage, so that's... which one is it you're hitting?
I'm hitting the far right.
The far right one. Okay, so he's going to make his con save. 16, so that's a 9 plus 5. 14, yes. So you see him, he takes the damage, and his eyes sputter a little bit, but then they come back. You see that eerie green just kind of billowing from this dead creature. So he's not dead.
Why won't you die?
Zombies are among the most annoying creatures, by the way. So he's still alive. And he starts doing this little dance. Staying alive.
So, are these zombies that if they bite you, turn into zombies?
No, not in this particular realm.
I do not believe anything but asked that question in the beginning. I would have had totally different.
Unless somebody decides to go AFK and doesn't come to their thing, that they might have gotten bit by a zombie. I don't know. We'll see.
Is that what happened to Ephraim?
Yeah, actually. That's a house rule, by the way, not an actual rule. But okay, Aurora and Tiger Lily, what you gonna do? If you wanted to torch the tent, I'd allow it.
That's funny, but then Phoenix in there and get hurt.
Come on, someone's got to help me kill somebody. Somebody's got to at least take a knee.
Ah, my knee. I knelt down too hard.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure all I can do this round is move. I've killed all the zombies near me.
Correct. You can move and you can Misty Step. I think are the only two.
I'm gonna move. Just move 30 feet. Yeah.
Okay. And are you wanting to go? Are you trying to get down here with these guys, or are you trying to go into the tent?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay. Because if you want to and you need to move, you can do that. Or Misty Step is an option for you, or you can dash, whichever.
I think I'll just move.
Okay.
Tiger Lily, you're just moving this time.
Okay. So you and Tiger Lily got it. Perfect. All right. Now, Balasar. What you gonna do?
I'm just gonna swing away the one right in front of me.
Okay. Take a swing. Once again, our negotiations have disintegrated into violence.
Absolutely.
Glaive, go ahead. Yes.
I didn't try to
damage.
negotiate.
That's because Becca says she didn't try to negotiate. So 10 slashing damage. All right. Let's see if he can come back to life. We'll roll. He rolled a 14. That is one less than he needed. He's dead.
Woohoo!
So you stab. You see him as it just collapses. Again, this is the big pudgy nasty well one. So you could think of Left 4 Dead 2 when or the big fat dudes that explode.
Yeah.
As it falls to the ground.
My covered by said.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go throw up.
All right, Benfina.
Really? Again?
Yep.
Oh.
There's zombies are dropping like flies. So.
Alright, well I'm
going to
look around the room now.
I don't
Right.
know. Flies at my house don't drop so quickly.
I know, right?
Neither did these zombies.
Right? It's like that fly. You swat it, and then it comes back to life.
Stop it.
Swat it because it's like that little thing off of Wally. Okay, so you're looking around the room. As you're looking, go ahead and roll me a investigation for me, please, Miss Venfina. Would you like to kick in the door or loot the room? All right, so you're looking around. It's a little bit dark, so you can't quite see everything. You do go over by the writing desk. You find the little bag. You open it up, and you find 25 silver pieces, 20 electrum pieces, 20 gold pieces, and 5 platinum pieces inside this little satchel.
Okay, well,
and for this turn, that consumes your attention.
And
I just leave the money there.
Okay, and then next to it, you'll see just like there's a potion on the table that you recognize. It's an earthy potion of healing. And then you could take on the next one if you want to. Just because we're in battle, I figure that's 6 seconds worth of investigation. All right, next, Clandon.
London. Go let that out. Okay, I'm gonna strike that. Attempt to strike this guy again.
Strike that.
There.
Get on the floor. Strike that.
With my bow.
Roland, you're on deck. All right, hit him. Drop him like he's hot. Drop him like he's hot. The zombie gets an attitude.
That'll do it.
Yep, that hits. Roll for damage. 5. That hits. You said it was the one in front of Dormorland?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's going to do his con saving throw. That is a... he does not make it. This time he crumples. So this time you see him start to take a breath and then it just in a pile of rags and flesh. Okay, Roland.
That is a long sword that I have in my hand, and doing with it is slashing at that zombie in front of me.
The pointy end or the blunt end?
I'll tell you after the roll. It's the pointy end.
Okay, pointy end. Got it. You go ahead and roll for damage. 11.
Oh,
nicely done. All right, and then the con save. It's a 14, and you barely kill him. He is finally dead. He the very last zombie with the fresh scent of just the acrid black brackish blood that doesn't seem it's coagulated. Some are more fresh zombies than others, but there's a pile of rags and flesh before you.
I'm gonna collapse to one knee and try not to throw up.
Okay.
I throw up.
So, if the smell of the zombies wasn't bad enough, you now, guys, Balasar and Dormorland, please do a con saving throw for me. The smell of bile and fresh mutton.
I don't even know how much, like, I even have anything left in me.
Okay, so Dormorland, you are stone stomach. What about you, Balasar? Do you barf on him?
Please.
I'm so glad I'm back here.
No, I'm good.
Roll a con save.
Oh.
If it rolls above a 10, you succeed.
Constitution.
Crit 1.
Yep,
Yeah,
you're a
con
barbarian, so you're pretty used to battle and blood. You roll the 9. So Balasar, you turn and barf on who? Are you barfing on the zombie? You barfing on Glandon, make a con save throw for me, please. A chain. This is a barfing chain, man.
Oh, the Balazar, dang it!
Balasar barfs on you, and his smells like acrid, just like grog and alcohol. And
Constitution save should be a disadvantage.
Yes!
I think he needs to roll it.
So he's still high on having pelted a couple of those zombies. So he sees the barf, and you know this is gonna take forever to wash out. But you hold his stomach. All right. The barf battles have conceded. You guys are now out of official combat. So before we go forward, Venfina, you are in the tent. You are looking at a bunch of different stuff that was in there. Again, you found the bag containing all the different coins and the pearl worth not unknown value.
Did you tell me there was a pearl?
There's a pearl in there.
There was a potion.
I'm sorry. In the bag, there was all those coins plus the pearl. So then, looking around the room, you see the potion of the healing. You continue to look around the room. You see the bone tube with what you assume to have some kind of a scroll or something inside, and a tiny jeweled box.
The box locked?
Go ahead and check it. Roll for investigation for me. See if it's locked. Wait for it.
Suspense is killing me.
It's not locked. You open it. So I just want to have you roll for something. So you go ahead and you open it up, and what you see inside is a ring. You're not really sure where it came from, so if you want to roll, whoever takes it, please write page 29.
For history?
You can roll for history if you'd like. Go ahead and roll for history, see if it's something you've heard in your text. Gosh freaking dang it! Free identify spell.
It counts. That's
You recognize this type of ring. You've seen it before. Some of the higher ups in the clergy and other paladins in your order have you've seen them use them before. It is a ring of protection from and as far as its origins, you gather from some of the notes that he has laying on his desk that it is from ancient Netheril is the region it comes from. And it's one of according to his scribblings, he is basically looking for magical ancient items, and this has been his most interesting find that he has found in this tower. So as you've been looking through his notes, that's what you discover about the history of this. So you can put a ring of protection.
I would like to hold my amulet and consult my deity to see if this is something she's led to.
Okay. Roll a religion check for me, please. $17. You have a very deep conversation. It's like, hey, this is my gift to you. No, hold on 1 second. I'm having a brain fart. It's the medicine and life, right? Or did you change it?
No, I am. My deity is.
What'd you change it to?
Honey, stop! I was trying to show you. Stop.
Dianrect?
Yeah.
God of medicine and healing.
Okay, so Dianrect. You feel that she has been pleased with your two actions today. First, having diffused a fight between the hobgoblins and kind of preserving that life that they had, as well as not having killed Hammond Cost. In addition to that, you also feel the warmth and gladness that you and your party as a whole has helped to remove some evil from this world, and that this gift would be befitting one of her one of her not vestiges. What's the word? An arm of her reign. What is that? Burp. An acolyte. Basically, you as an appendage of a larger machine, that it would benefit her organization, and that she blesses it should you wish to take it.
Okay.
It is not unholy magic.
Alright, so what kind of ring is it?
Ring of protection. So the rest of you, at this point, you guys, if you want to start moving around or what have you, I know Aurora, you're in the mouth of the tent. What would you others like to do?
I would like to move inside this turret.
Inside of the tower? Okay, go ahead and move it. Go in. Roll me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Ooh, it increases my
All right.
AC.
As you're going up and in, nothing happens. Go ahead. Rory, what were you saying you want to do?
I didn't say anything.
Okay. What was everybody else doing?
I'm taking a rest. I need
Okay.
I'm wounded.
Roland's catching his breath.
Is there anything inside the tent?
The tent, as far as what you can see now that you're seeing it, you see the same thing. There's a cot where he seems to have been sleeping, a chair, a writing desk, just some supplies like inkwells, some papers. Seems to be research related. And then you see Venfina over standing by his writing desk with a bag sitting near her with a bone, a tube that's made of bone hanging from a chair. Otherwise, the room itself, it's noticeably more dank and moldy and musty inside of this tent than the outside would purvey. The outside is very colorful and lifelike, whereas the inside becomes it almost sapped of life. There's no light.
Who's in the
place with me?
just Aurora?
You and Aurora.
Okay.
Okay. I say I found this bag here. It contains some coins. If you would like it, is yours, I suppose.
Wait, split it. That's fine.
Okay, so go ahead, and do you guys want to split that between you evenly, or how do you want to split it?
Oh no, I'm giving it.
Okay, so Rebecca, Aurora, you put in yours unless you want to divvy it up to other people. You have
How much is it?
35 silver pieces, 30 electrum pieces, EP.
Wait, hold on.
You're okay.
Okay, 35 silver pieces?
Yes, 35 silver pieces. Add 20 EP, or electrum pieces. $20 gold pieces. And then 5 platinum pieces, PP. Yep.
Okay.
Penny, you okay? Alright, so, and then also inside of that bag, you have a pearl it hasn't been appraised yet, but you can either have someone in your party attempt to, or take it to someone to be appraised. Just write, if you want to note, just page 29 for the pearl. Okay. And then, everybody in the party, let's see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's Stormore? Oh, there. 6. Yes, divided by 6. Everybody,
Still here.
we'll round it up. 35 XP for encountering and finding this place. And then we're going to take an additional 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Weren't there 12 zombies total?
Yes, you're correct.
There was
12.
supposed to be, but I only counted 10.
There's a couple they're underneath here, and I deleted one.
Oh, gotcha.
3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, 'cause I think I deleted 2 of them. So 12, and then we've got... Where did that go? What the junk?
Put him in front of me, I'll kill him.
I'm looking for where it went. So that's 50 XP per. That is, yeah. Well, we'll just take their average value they have here. So it's 800 divided by everybody. That is, it's 133 repeating. So let's just do 134 per person.
Is that with the 35 you added earlier?
No, that is separate.
169.
Yep, 169. So everybody had 169 experience points for having done that. Aurora, are you also going to continue looking around inside the tent?
Yes.
Okay, so you go ahead and you grab the potion of healing. So go ahead and add that to your inventory. A bone tube with a scroll of something inside. You're not really sure what it is, but anyone who's proficient with Arcana is welcome to try. Otherwise, you're going to need to get somebody to identify it.
I'll go ahead and look at it for you if you want.
Go ahead and roll a Arcana check for me. 17. All right, you recognize this. This is a scroll of darkness.
I actually got maybe. Any more insight?
So what?
Or is that just something in you have to look up?
It's just a scroll of darkness. You can, as far as what it does, you can, if you go into the compendium on the side. Hold on. It's being slow. What if you do by scroll? I've done it. I don't like their search because sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah, it's not there. Just look at the darkness spell, and this would allow anyone who's proficient in Arcana to use this scroll to cast this spell once.
Are you proficient enough?
Darkness. This is magical darkness. So in a 15-foot radius, a sphere, darkness spreads around it, and no, even if you have dark vision, you cannot see through it unless you have like devil's sight of some kind. It is super pitch black. And there's very specific things that, so it will, anything visual, you cannot do it. So you can't see them, they can't see you, kind of thing. Okay.
Okay, so Aurora, are you proficient in Arcana? Would that be helpful to you?
I am not proficient in Arcana, so if you are, you can have it.
I am. I'll hang on to it and see if somebody else maybe wants it.
Okay. So you still have that bone tube. You go ahead and add that to yours, and then the jeweled box is the last thing. But that's what had the ring inside. So what are you doing with that box?
Should I just add the spell darkness for like one-time use or something?
You can.
Because the scroll's not in the compendium.
Yeah, just make sure that it doesn't do any. Just make sure that once you use it, it's gone. The scroll itself is expended.
So is this scrolled box? That's what that guy or Benfina has, right?
That's correct. That's what she's holding with the ring inside.
Yeah, and I equipped the ring on me. I will hold on to the box. I don't know if it has any special value to the ring or not.
Okay, sounds good. Go ahead and put that in your inventory.
There is there's a spell scrolls thing that you can add into your inventory, and then I think you just have to.
Correct.
Right. Are you finding it in the Roll20
Yes.
now?
Oh no, I'm looking in the D&D Beyond stuff.
It's also in the compendium, so if you just type spell scroll, it'll show up in there. Spell scroll in the compendium, it'll show up there as a item.
Okay, so I should just add that item, or should I add the darkness specifically? And
if you want, just add the scroll, and make note that it's a scroll of darkness, and then you can add that darkness spell for reference. Once you use the spell, get rid of the spell. Or once you use the scroll, get rid of the spell. That way you'll have the quick cast where you can just click on it. Okay. Alright, so that's that. Hammond Cost is still snoozing away. You start to hear him start to shift a little bit in his magically induced slumber. Murmuring a bit.
Do I get enough time to take a short rest?
This one, it's a 1 minute for how long it takes for him to wake up. So we're on the crack of it.
Is he murmuring anything?
Roll a perception. Alright, for a 12. He, no, it just seems like he's just grunting and just kind of shifting and trying to wake up.
I'm gonna head to the tent. Head in.
And you guys can hear it. It's muffled from the outside because again, this is like thick oiled canvas, but you can definitely hear there's shifting and stuff going on inside the ent.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
All right, I'm gonna go
Now that I'm
up
playing.
and slap him on the hands. Tap, 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 slap, slap, slap.
What is the meaning of this?
You know.
But I thought I told you to leave. I was having such pleasant dreams.
What you did was sick your little zombies and we dispatched them. You might hire some new hands.
Those are not cheap.
Did you get that?
Those are hard to come by. Those hired hands, or handsless, as may be.
Yeah, because then we're missing hands, right?
Womp womp womp. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. And so you see him kind of look inward, his inoculate eye looking inward on himself to see that yes, indeed, these connections have been severed.
All right. I want to channel divinity and cast emissary peace.
How often can you cast that?
It's after every short rest, but I haven't done any channel divinity, so
okay.
This is my channel divinity.
Okay, got it. And what is it that you're doing? The emissary peace. Okay, bonus action, grant yourself a +5. Okay, you have +5 to you used this earlier last time.
Yeah, but we had a short rest.
You finished.
Yes, we did.
Did you do a short rest between it?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So then, yes, you do have this emissary piece. Got it. So you have a +5 on your persuasion. Go ahead.
On my charisma.
On your charisma.
Okay. Let's see.
What are you doing with my things? Put that back. That doesn't belong to you.
We are just trying to find out what you're doing here.
I told you.
On behalf of the town.
I told you. I'm here. Listen, I'm doing my research.
I see there's a ring on her hand.
Whoa. I'm not supporting it. Chill. I'm...
Put that down. Thief.
Okay. Let's see.
What you gonna do when they come for you, bad boys, bad boys?
This is a really awkward silence for Roland.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
You just see the man. He's just breathing and really indignant.
So why does your work require that you have so many helpers and that you call in such evil spirits to do your bidding?
Evil? This is just part of my magic. Can't you read my forehead?
No, we're not from Thay.
Well, let me explain it to you in plain terms. I make a contract with them before they die, and they willingly are able to... I use their bodies in the service, and their families are compensated handsomely. Now I have to come by... They're cheap! And he seems just really tussled.
Well, what is it exactly that you're trying to...
You ruffled his feathers. I told you I was trying to research the magical properties of this tower.
Is that maybe something we can help you with?
Well, I'm obviously short-handed now.
All this would have been avoided if you hadn't attacked us.
I didn't attack you. I told you to leave.
And then sick your demons on us.
You fire a magic missile. I heard it.
Yeah, you did hit.
Well,
we are here on behalf of the town, and we're here to help them with uncovering things as well.
Oh, fine. Well, I'm... and he's just kind of getting... You see him looking back and forth on the floor, just trying to figure out what exactly... how to continue his work, or what have you. And he said, look, listen, if you really want to help, there's still all those orcs down in Wyvern Tor, causing all kinds of amok in this area. Or if you want... I could ask you a favor to ask an Agatha if you'd like to make amends for your dispersal of my hired help.
Do we know who that is, Agatha?
No, you have not heard her name before.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that name. Who is she?
He blinks. He blinks kind of not in sync, if that makes sense. His eyes seem to... one eye closes faster than the other one, so he's a little bit googly-eyed. And he kind of looks at you blankly. You don't... Agatha the Banshee!
And now I do a history check or something?
Yeah, go ahead and roll for a history, see if you recognize the name.
I would also like to roll history.
Go ahead and roll history.
Wonderful.
Anyone who wants
but it's not worth
a roll. Alright. Roland, it doesn't seem to ring a bell. Venfina, you've heard talk around town, or just Birmings. It seems to be a local, another one of those local just rumors that there is a banshee who lives in the near the town, closer to the Owl Well itself, to the north. That she has a lair, and she is said to be quite powerful and knowledgeable, but not somebody you want to go messing with unless you have a really good reason.
What would you need us to go there for? She's not someone I would go to willingly. There's a really good reason.
Well, she doesn't like my kind, because obviously I mess with death and that sort of stuff. But if you are able to talk to her, I'm trying to find out the name of the wizard that created this tower. It can help me in my research and finding and decrypting some of the ciphers he has on these spell-casted locks and things.
Are you sure you need her help and not maybe something we can help you with?
Well, unless you know the name of the wizard of that built this tower. And
I don't know. We have a lot of collective knowledge.
Roll.
4.
Anything below a 20 is not going to succeed.
Dang, so close.
You got to be like shooting for the moon. You better not roll a 20.
Here, let me get rid of this plot point for you.
All right. Don't roll a 20, gosh dang it!
I would like to roll inspiration.
So there's a history. Anyone else? Anyone else?
I haven't used inspiration.
You can use inspiration, but it's not a natural 20.
Well, but can 20?
You can roll again. The inspiration will allow you to roll it again with advantage, but unless you get a natural 20, it's not going to go through.
Oh, so not with any modifiers.
I'm telling you right now, that it's not going to modify. It allows you to roll the dice twice.
We'll have to sit there tapping our chips at the moment.
Everybody's thinking. So everybody sees Venfina, and she's like gone into like Super Saiyan thinking mode, and you see a vein pop out on her head, but she doesn't quite go blonde haired and.
I'm already blonde haired.
She doesn't go red haired. So Super Saiyan 3, I think.
She's Kaioken 20.
Yes. She's not quite over 9,000.
She's in her mind.
Just short. But okay, so and so everybody kind of shrugs. He looks around the room expectantly, like, well, if you want to help, that's the only way that there's really the only things that you can help me with. You've already relieved me of all my other possessions, so obviously I have nothing to compensate you with.
Again, this could have all been avoided if we had posed a more peaceful route.
If you get the sense that if he wasn't tied up, he'd probably be folding his arms and pushing his shoulders forward and pushing his lip out like a 2-year-old.
Are we going to be agreeable? Can I untie you now?
Mind you that he has his hands and feet hog-tied behind him. He's laying on the floor. Very demeaning. I would very much appreciate it if you'd get me out of these bindings.
And I'm the closest, correct?
Correct.
Alright, well, I go
You and Aurora. Dora Morlum, you're walking around in sheer darkness, but you can see different things here and there. There are most of this tower that you're looking around inside of. A lot of the caverns and things. It looks like the zombies that were in here, they were moving rubble. Trying to clear the way to a bunch of these doors. But as far as like an actual place to go outside of this tower, it's very haphazard. And roll a... You have Smithy's tools, right? Or like you have advantage checks on history checks for stone?
You need to go Yodan on the stones.
All kind of sitting around in the tent.
Yeah,
guys,
fishing
where's the
and
dwarf?
If you roll a natural 1, I'll warn you, you're gonna kick a stone and the whole thing's gonna fall on your head, you're gonna die. Just kidding. 14, yeah, so you're the 12 was the first one?
Was it for history?
It was advantage, so yes, 14.
Well, that 12 was kind of trying to get that natural 20 with. Anyway.
Yeah, that's okay. That's totally fine. So you get the 14 because it's advantage because of your...
That's my advantage. That's on 20.
The 14.
No.
Wait.
The 12, I was joking. The 12 was back when you guys were trying to get that natural 20 with...
Oh, okay. I got you. You're right. Okay. So yeah, you see this tower and you see it's very old, and you know that it could take months to move some of this rubble to get up to any of the higher towers. It is very ancient. It is very well built, and that any wrong move in moving the wrong stone, this tower is kind of haphazard. It's that crooked tower where pieces of it are missing and things, and so any wrong move could upset the balance and cause catastrophic failure of this building. But
on every stone it says made by.
Made by.
Do I by chance know what kind of like civilization made these towers?
You recognize that these stones and the stonework of it matches a lot of the stuff that you found in the manor underneath where the red brands were. It is very old, and it probably even predates that mansion and some of the places in that town. This one doesn't seem, because the town itself of Phandalin isn't huge, but you can tell that this was built for not only looking out, but also withstanding a little bit of siege.
All right, and as you said before, there's no way to really gain access anywhere higher than the main floor.
Not currently, nope.
Okay.
Not currently. You look around the room in the dark. The dust's kind of settling. You see the smudges and smears. You find a couple zombie fingers that had fallen off as they're dragging stones around. But overall, it looks like they were in there doing grunt work, moving things around.
All right. Well, I'd like to, and then once I'm done investigating this place, I'd like to head back to my companion.
Okay. As you're walking across the zombies and the squishing sounds when you're stepping on them, do a Constitution save throw for me.
Watch out! I puked right there.
Okay, so you slip a little bit in some of the bile, but you catch yourself just before you fall in, and you feel yourself dry heave a little, but you're good. You're good. Okay, so you get out there. All right, everybody else in there. Hammond, he's told you about Agatha and his request. And did you untie him?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's untied. He's kind of feeling his wrists. I mean, he's not old, but he's definitely kind of his skin is tight to his skin. He's a very scholarly dude. He rubs his back of his head a little bit, his bald head, kind of feeling back and forth. Still pretty indignant about the whole situation. But Rora or Venfina, let's see how he feels towards you. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion, since you're doing the main talking.
Anybody have the charm spell? Ooh.
He's still pissed at you. I was putting the DC at 10, so that's a +5. 7. Yeah, he's still pretty irritated with you. You haven't quite won him over. Okay. Well, what else do you want? Do you want to take the shirt off my back too?
Well, not that you.
He grabs his shirt and kind of pulls back a little bit. I was joking.
What is it that you have for us to? You have something for us to take to Agatha? Is that her name?
How come we can convince her?
Well, I don't have anything for her, but I hear that she, the only thing I really have is information. I know that she has an ego, and if you can strike a chord with her, negotiations go well. If not, I cannot guarantee your safety. She's very powerful and very old.
So, knowing what I do about banshees, they're not normally benevolent creatures, right? Or at least neutral creatures.
Correct. They're like a chaotic evil. Yep. This one, at least from piecing when you've been walking around and meeting some of the people in the town and things that you've heard, as well as things you know about banshees themselves, this one seems to be an especially ancient one, and her continued existence has lived on that she has a lot of information to give and to take. If that makes sense. She's that's kind of her lifeblood. Her motives are less of killing anyone and more of amassing knowledge.
Okay, so her name is Agatha, and she's a banshee.
Yes.
That's all he's list, right?
That's all he told you. And as far as, you continue to press him and talk with him about it, and that's all really he knows about Agatha. He just knows that in legend, as well as in, he sent a couple emissaries that way. None of them came back.
And she's just a little bit north of him.
Yes, so he says he believes that if you go back to the Tribor Trail, that trail that comes up from where you're at, you go a little bit east or to the west and north. So you backtrack a little bit from where you've come. And he says that there is a town when you're coming from the direction you guys are coming, it's harder to see, but when you go back, you're going downhill a little bit, and you can kind of see it nested in these trees. So he says if you go back to these trees, this buildings, her lair is somewhere just beyond that.
And we're looking for the wizard that built the owl well. Correct.
This was the owl well, correct? And
he wants the wizard's name.
He wants to know the wizard that built this tower, correct? And his
name was Owl.
Right? Roll me another persuasion, and we'll see if it gives you any more.
Oh, please.
Natural 20.
9 plus 5? Okay, yeah, so as you're talking to him, using your charismatic senses, you do notice things here and there, and you pick up on that she is wise about a lot of things in this area, not just this tower. But he alludes to if you are able to win her over, she typically will only answer one question. Nope. He doesn't give you an illusion. This is just what you're gathering as he's talking. You're putting pieces together.
we came to Elwell to disperse of the unhappiness for the town broke. Is there anything for that?
If you're
this out, whoever built this owl while we were doing that, does he agree to let people go about their business here?
I suppose, but it's just as dangerous for them. That's why I employ zombies to move the stuff around. Those bumpkins will come in and collapse the whole thing on their head, and then we'll lose all of the secrets.
I think we can go back to town and advise the town folk to stay out of your hair, and that it's for their benefit. I think that's something we can do for you.
Fair enough. Do you know of any nearby graveyards?
Well, there's some hob.
Those will do nicely, thank you. At least those ones I don't have to pay their family.
Yeah, down in the mansion and down just on the other side of the hill.
Perfect.
Where did you shot her arrow from?
now go, shoo, I need to work. So he starts burgeoning you all out the front of his.
And you heal for my panther.
For your panther, you said?
Yes.
You already used your.
Yeah, I think I have used all mine. Until we have a long rest, it looks like.
Yep. So what do you guys want to do? Do you want to head up north? Do you want to take a rest?
Sorry, I have a little bit of healing.
Perfect.
How much healing does it look like the panther's down? Is it just like a small?
Right?
Like, does the panther get hit dice too?
Yes.
Yes, it has hit points. Yes.
Sweet.
Points or hit dice?
Dice.
I would say yes because they're considered like a player character, but I'm not sure what that is. So let me figure it out. For now, just assume. Let's just assume for now because I'm not sure. This will be like house rules till I figure out for sure. Use your own, whatever your hit dice are as a ranger. The same amount will be applied for the panther. That makes sense.
It's hunter, right?
Ranger, Beastmaster.
Sorry, the archetype.
Beastmaster.
Beastmaster.
Yep.
How do we even use our hit dice?
Hit dice is when you take a long or short rest, you just roll them. That's what I'm saying. You just roll them. So you have a total of. Click on hit dice.
Oh, on
the name. Yeah. So if you want to use your hit dice, you can click on the name. Are you guys making camp right here in the mouth of his tent, or are you guys? What are you guys doing? Aurora or Venfina, go ahead and add your bolt back to your. It hit soft dirt, so it didn't break. Where are you guys making camp?
I want to add my information with the group about the tower, that it's just a single tower, and that there's a inside of it, and no need for all of us going in there just in case it's real. And
okay, perfect.
Airplane.
Okay, so with beasts, they do have hit dice equal to their hit point stuff, so it's 3d8 for a panther.
Perfect.
Hits per day, and then I also learned while I was looking through here that add your proficiency bonus to the AC, attack roll, and damage rolls, as well as to any saving throw and skills that you're proficient in. So your attack rolls are actually better because you're adding bonus as well. Damage rolls too.
Perfect.
So any of that means,
so
linked the Ranger Companion section here for you.
So essentially what that means for you, Sarah, instead of doing the plus whatever I was doing, you would add your proficiency bonus. Am I understanding that right?
Mm-hmm, yep, so you roll, for an attack, you roll 1d20, and instead of +4 to hit for the bite, it's +4 plus your proficiency bonus, which is just a 2 right now.
So it's even stronger than it was.
Yep.
Perfect.
So you'll do an extra +2 on your attack rolls, and then an extra +2 on your damage rolls.
Perfect.
You add a +2 on that as well.
Okay. All right. Let me see
Is
if I
that
can...
tree right next to an oak tree?
I believe yes, last time we established this is kind of a oaken forest.
All right, I'm gonna go sit by that tree.
Okay. A small leaf falls from the tree and lands in your lap.
And we are taking a long rest for Esno.
Yes.
Okay. Who's taking first watch?
Not me.
As a reminder, Venfina and Aurora, you only have to take 4 hours of rest to get a long rest because you're both
we have
all out or nothing.
Which is the class trait.
Right.
I'll take selfless paladin that I am. I'll take.
Perfect. All right, so everybody go ahead and go through. We're gonna roll. Let's see. Okay, yeah, everybody's not working.
Exactly what I needed.
Okay, yep, so nothing happens. You guys are good. Everybody go ahead and do a long rest. That means you're going to recover. You don't have to roll your hit dice. Everybody goes to full health. You bandage your wounds. You, talk amongst the campfire. If you guys want to do anything in that, I assume you're just sleeping and taking watch. You rotate through watches. Nothing happens. The sun starts peeking over the horizon, and you guys are ready for a new day. And that's where we'll end it for tonight.
Dum dum dum.
Bam, bam, bam.
Next time on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yes, indeed. And you guys aren't sure where Zedek went.
He's probably climbed up a tree somewhere.
Yep. He's gone. He's gone like a freight train. Gone like yesterday. So everybody, let's see. Let's look at our calendars real quick. When is the next Saturday you guys want to meet? So,
well, I know Zedek. I know said that he thought next Saturday was going to be the day. So
okay.
I'm sure that'll work.
Okay. Do you guys want to play next Saturday? I'm fine either way.
So we do, or we wait until the 13th.
That's up to you guys.
So
or we'd be able to make the 6th.
I wouldn't be able to make the 6th either. But again, I'm a guest star, so.
Come now, you're playing an important part here. You help me hold the line of zombies.
It's true.
If you do talk to him, make sure that he's.
You did start the boat war. That was
Didn't bother me.
Make sure as well if you do talk to him personally, because I don't seem to find him. I'm not online for whatever reason when he's online. Make sure and tell him to be sure and check that Discord channel. I try and post it on Facebook as well, but Discord channel is the source of truth because everybody has Discord. Everybody can check it. Everybody knows. I'll post on there what the official times are.
That's where I'm getting my information.
Yep. I'll also put it on Roll20. I try and cover all the bases, but for whatever reason it falls through the cracks sometimes. So. Yeah, I think everybody's good. What about you, Joey?
I will be around the 13th.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So the 13th, 6th.
Well, the 27th
is my birthday.
Just saying.
So we need to play D&D all day on 27th. All day.
Nah, what I was guessing.
So 27th is a not, so it's between the 6th, 13th, and 20th. So for all those who are here,
natural history.
all right. For everybody, what's out of those 3 days, which works best? 6, so we've got 2 down, right?
Either the 13th or the 20th.
Sounds like the 13th and the 20th. Okay, so it's between the 2. Which one do you guys is the 13th? Who's nay?
I think Joey's the only nay.
Joey, and then possibly.
Hold up, I gotta look up a date.
Okay.
I'm the lone horse say nay.
Nay.
We
Nay.
are the knights who say nee.
Nee. Nee. Icky for
No
10
longer. Exactly.
Okay, yeah, the 13th won't work for me, so 20th.
Is 20th good with everybody? I'm fine with the 20th. Is there anything on 20th you know, Becca?
So we're gonna take a long rest and.
Yes, it'll be a really long rest. Which is okay, because Preston's got a lot of fun stuff he wants to do with backstories, so.
20th does not work for me, but again, don't dare try to do it. My schedule.
Okay. We'll find out. For now, let us plan on the 20th. Pending that there's no, because I'm assuming everybody here is good, and if Zedek's okay with the 20th, we'll play on the 20th.
Otherwise, you might want to think about doing another night other than Saturday, so we don't.
That's true. I mean, that's up to you guys. The only days that I am preoccupied is Mondays. Mondays I play D&D, and Fridays I also play D&D.
Yeah, Mondays are no good. I mean, my best days are always Wednesdays. Days are always my two best.
Okay. And what about there's also Sunday evenings is also an option.
Sunday night's an option.
I prefer if we do Sunday night to do it a little earlier, just that way we're not super late. That way people aren't having crappy Mondays. But that's up to you guys.
It's a Monday anyways. It's crap.
Because we're going to early morning tips, right?
We can have that discussion if the 20th doesn't work.
Okay. So let's say the 20th for now. Is just plan on the 20th unless you hear otherwise. And check I try and post it so you guys get it. So I'll put it on Facebook, Discord, and in Roll20 if there is a change that's going to need to be made. Is 6 o'clock still good with everybody? I know there was discussion of uneasiness.
No, I'm good. I was just a little longer in a wedding reception than I planned.
That's all good. Okay, so if 6 o'clock is good, let's just plan on 6 o'clock on the 20th. 6 o'clock Mountain Time, 7 o'clock Central.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks everybody. Thanks for joining the stream. We'll see you next time.